not just patients. With innovations that amplify healing and lead to more personalized care. Guided by the belief we all hold the power to heal. At Common Spirit Health, clinical excellence lives here. Human kindness lives here. Learn more at mountain.commonspirit.org.
When disaster hits your home, it's game time. Water in the basement, fire damage, mold creeping in. Don't sit on the sidelines. Call Able. Able Restoration is your first round draft pick for emergency response, mitigation, and full rebuild. We move fast, protect your property, and fight for you with insurance start to finish. This isn't practice. This is your home. And when it's time to step up and protect what matters most, bring Able to the table. Call 303-590-5600. That's 303-590-5600. Go Able. Bring Able to the table.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Half a century. All hail the NBA.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan presents Kyle Reese and Marcello Romano.
All right, good morning, Denver. Denver Sports Station 104.3, The Fan. I am Kyle Reese. John Davis, my man, is sitting in for Marcello Romano. He's out on assignment. Alex Becker is behind the glass. John Davis, we haven't done this in a while. How you doing this morning, my friend?
I'm doing real good, man. I kind of like the overcast. Rainy day today.
Because the sun has been just leaning on me the last few days. And when the sun takes a rest on you like that, I wake up to an overcast day, and I appreciate a rainy day.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It seems we don't get them. Do you remember when we were growing up in the month of June, it just rained in the afternoon every single day?
A hail, and then if you play football or something like that, then you get the lightning delays.
Yes.
Every June.
Every June.
You haven't even really been getting that. A little bit of hail, but outside of that, it doesn't feel like our typical June. So I appreciate the fact that it wasn't rotisserie hot this morning when I got up out of the bed.
Rotisserie hot.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I'll tell you who is pretty hot, the New York Knicks, man. That's a pretty cool thing that we watched on TV last night.
Yeah, it was, I mean, a team that they lost, 3 times in this whole playoffs? Twice to the Hawks and then just the one to the Spurs. When you see a team and a player specifically with Jalen Brunson be able to turn it on when they do in those big moments, and, Anunoby and Cat fouls out, Anunoby's in foul trouble, yet other guys continually step up, put themselves in the right position. But Jalen Brunson, man, we recognize Jokic, Wemby, Giannis, Luka, Shea, and Ant as the best players in the league. I think I don't think you can leave Jalen Brunson out of that conversation.
I said it last week, and I didn't get as much heat as I thought I would get for it. So let me say it again and see what people think about today. I don't think Nikola Jokic is the best player in the league anymore.
I think that's fair. And I don't, as a Nuggets fan, I wouldn't be offended by that because I think for 5 to 6 seasons he clearly was. And how many players in the history of the NBA can say for 5 to 6 straight seasons they were unquestionably the best player in the NBA? So I'm not against it. He's also still in the top 2 or 3. No, that's still pretty good.
I didn't say he was kicked completely out the club.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, you're not the main event anymore. But, I mean, it's Brunson, it's SGA, it's Wemby. It is Nikola Jokic. He's absolutely a part of that conversation because this was the second year in a row that he averaged a triple-double. So, again, I'm not kicking him out of the club. But I just watched what Brunson has done. And even SGA. SGA is an annoying player, but he's still an extremely talented player.
Yeah, well, that's what's annoying about SGA is you don't need to do that. Your mid-range is hitting nothing but the bottom of the net without you trying to pump fake and lean into the guy and draw a foul. Without you don't need to
flailing
do any of
all
that.
over the place. Yeah. It's extremely annoying. And listen, Brunson does a little bit of it, but Brunson is 6'1", 6'2" at best. And so a smaller guy doing what he does on a night-to-night basis and putting the team on his back, because throughout the series, I always find myself, if I'm watching it with my wife or whoever, I'm looking up and saying, Brunson isn't playing that well.
And he's got 32.
Last night he had 4. And I said, damn, babe, he's got half of their points.
Last night, what they said, they were at one point, they're he's got 34 points. And I went, when? And I look down, and he does it. And they had the last 2 games, the Knicks for a lot of the game had the hardest time getting anything in the paint when Wemby was out there. They were getting forced to the outside, take bad shots. And then that fourth quarter hits, and Brunson drove to the lane that one time and hit that layup over Wemby. And it was like, oh,
here we go.
This is it. Because, I mean, was OG particularly special last night? No, not at all.
Because I bet $1 on him to go over 20, and he didn't. I'd never actually bet anything worth talking about. But he did when he had the heroic game at the end of Game 4. So, I'm like, okay, you can just pick up where he left off at. Not so much. Karl-Anthony Towns was bad last night. He spent most of the game on the bench. So it really was the Jalen Brunson show, because after that, who do you got? Landry Shamet? Even though he was on a heater for a lot of the playoffs, he hasn't played well in the finals, and he definitely didn't play well last night. So, but it was cool to see that the New York Knicks, this is my lifetime. This is our lifetime.
We're in our 40s.
Yes.
And all we had to hear about was the Knicks our whole life, and we're sitting there going, these guys don't win anything.
Closer to 50, actually. I'm getting there. And so, we heard about the heyday of the Knicks. We heard about the Walt Clyde Frazier. We heard about, golly, I can't even name anybody else on the team because I haven't been around.
No, we grew up watching Jordan beat the Knicks.
That's it.
And then Jordan retired. They got to the finals. I was pulling for him with Ewing to beat Houston. I was pulling for him that year. They had some opportunities, but we used to just see. I mean, I always laughed at the Knicks, not to be a jerk, how much they loved this Starks dunk. Remember that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, they lost a series. That was always
the highlight.
That was the highlight, but really likable team with the Knicks. Nobody to really not like. Cat, I think, is a guy that was always pretty underappreciated with how good of a player he was. Now, this series, he was bad in the fourth. But that first game they stole in San Antonio, which really set the tone, Wemby had nothing for Cat in that game. And that was crucial to winning a title, is you got to have a game where somebody not the main guy, does something special. And Cat was really good there. Just overall, I do find it funny, not to go too far off track from last night, that, Carmelo's supposed to be the guy that brings the Nuggets the championship. And then he's gone. And they finally get one. And then they go to New York, and he's the guy. He's going to bring it back to New York. And then he's gone. And they win the first one. I mean, most diehard
in Oklahoma City too.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't. Trailblazers. Yeah. Guess what?
You're on deck. You're next.
You're on deck. But were you surprised at all with how the series went for the Spurs?
No. And I was rooting for the Knicks. And I don't mind the Spurs. The Spurs are so much more likable than what they were when Manu Ginobili was
the originator of the flop.
The originator was 1.0 of SGA, basically, or James Harden, or whoever you want to put in that category. So this is hard for me to say because I don't like the city of San Antonio, and I've never liked the Spurs. But I don't mind watching this version of the San Antonio Spurs play. And Dylan Harper is really exciting to watch. Champagne's really fun to watch. You love a kid who went undrafted and made his way up through the G League. So they've got some guys that you can root for on that team. Having said all that, I was rooting for the Knicks because I believe that it was this year or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
If the Knicks were going to win it, it had to be this year because guess what? That version of the Spurs is only going to get better. OKC's not going anywhere. And then who knows what's going to come out of the East. Boston is they're going to be Boston again. They are who they are. And then like Detroit or somebody like that could pop up. Given the last 8 years, we've had a different champion all 8 years.
Yeah, the Pacers are going to be back. Halliburton's going to be healthy.
All that.
You see it with the Nuggets. If Calvin Booth doesn't decide to enact the dumbest strategy of all time, we might get a second one, or at least a second trip.
But he made it look easy. So
he did. He did.
He made it look too easy.
I was pulling for the Knicks. There's a lot of Spurs fans that have seen the Spurs win a title. The Knicks, the majority of those diehard fans you see out there were not alive to see the last time. So, you know, the videos of them celebrating in New York I thought was really cool last night. I did not like the violence we saw the other night. That is ridiculous. You should never. I mean, Kyle, can you imagine getting in a fist fight because a grown man you don't know? You're defending a grown man you don't know at his job. like you're fighting on behalf of sports athletes that it's absurd. But the Knicks, I was cheering for them. One thing too with the Spurs, find them likable now, because in 5 years when they may have won 4 out of 5 or 3 out of 4, you're not going to like them so much.
Well, Wemby's well on his way.
Yes,
because Wemby plays I think Wemby is still getting to know himself. You know, he's kind of like a baby giraffe, and sometimes the elbows go places that they're not supposed to, and he falls flat on the floor. My wife pointed out last night, she was like, "Did you see the concussion play? That was all him. Like, that was him tripping over himself and hitting the floor face first." So this is one of those, they'll win enough to become the villain eventually.
Yeah.
Golden State.
Like the Patriots. Do you remember how we were all behind the good story of Tom Brady?
Super Bowl 36, right? And this was right after 9/11, yep. and it just felt like it was in the cards.
The Rams were the big bad team that the greatest show on turf. They couldn't be beat.
And they were cocky, and we really didn't like them that much, and they came out of nowhere, went from worst to first. So, yeah, we were all a Patriot for Super Bowl 36 until. And then they went back to back. And it was like, okay, we're probably –
and then Brady, and then we all got mad, and
then
the Spurs,
Spygate, and everything came out after that.
Josh, yeah, like with the Spurs, you pointed out about Wemby, you know, kind of still growing into not just his body, but growing into just the maturity of playing in the NBA. The whole Spurs were kind of like that. They're so young that you saw a lot of sloppy turnovers, even in the OKC series. You'd see sloppy turnovers, just see them get ahead of themselves. Oddly enough, for the Spurs, unfortunately, the guy that looked like the most inexperienced was the most experienced guy. That's De'Aaron Fox out there. This poor guy.
Oh, he had a terrible game last night.
Again.
Stop shooting.
Stop shooting.
It's like he took that last 15 seconds of the fourth quarter from game 4, and he said, let's do it again. And the last night in the fourth quarter, I honestly felt like De'Aaron Fox shot the Knicks back into the game.
I think that's fair. He had those I think there was like 2 straight possessions when the Knicks were getting hot that he bricked.
He bricked. Wemby misses free throws. So these are all things that happen to a young team. And, Alex, golly, you weren't around either, but this is kind of the rite of passage in the NBA.
Always.
The young team, the upstart, they fall to the veteran team, the guys that have been around. Like Jalen Brunson is not old, but he's older than those guys. So the Spurs – honestly just had to go through this. And I always used to give Alex Boteo hell about the experience thing is a little overrated, but I think that played out in front of you in this year's finals.
The NBA, it plays out all the time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, 0-3 at home. They blew a double-digit lead in each game that they lost. There's something to that.
Yeah. And, I mean, Mike got beat. He put up 60 against the Celtics. Pulling that team.
But it wasn't his time yet.
It wasn't his time. You know, he loses back-to-back seasons to the bad boy Pistons. Wemby, interestingly enough, to show you kind of how good of a trajectory the Spurs team may be on, they lost in the finals. LeBron had to lose in the playoffs multiple times. Shaq.
Before he packed his bags.
Yeah, before he left. But, Wemby did it in the finals, and he went through a team in the Western Conference Finals. It was supposed to be this dynasty, and have you ever seen a player, Wemby in the OKC series, go against a guy on the other team and play that man out of favor with that entire fan base? With Chet Holmgren, OKC, they liked him there. He's this young guy. Wemby shattered that with those fan base.
To the point he turned down shots.
Yes.
I'm done with it, and that's the reason why. There was a lot of reasons why, but Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren were examples of why teams are a little hesitant to pay players. Jalen Williams set out down there half of the season, then Chet Holmgren basically turned it down. He set out a game that he was playing in.
Yeah.
He was in it, but he turned it down. So, yeah, there's a little bit of buyer beware anytime you go to sign these supermax contracts. And, speaking of like Wemby and comparison to some of the greats that had to go through this humbling before they reached the mountaintop. He's one of those guys that, like you said, he made it to the finals, but you're not going to see a scenario in San Antonio where he has to go out and recruit a whole lot of guys to improve the team. It's going to be that version. It's going to be Harper, Castle, and Wemby. Vassell, and probably Carter Bryant.
Yeah,
he's
19 years old.
19
I like him.
years old.
He's a good player.
He was in the game last night. That's what you're going to deal with for the next 8 years.
Does the De'Aaron Fox, because that De'Aaron Fox contract, whew.
Oops.
I mean, because that's one of those, because when they traded for him, do you remember what kind of that feeling when they got De'Aaron Fox? Because De'Aaron Fox is dope in Sacramento. And they got that, and it's like, had they, of course you don't know what's going to happen, had they known they were going to get Dylan Harper, that they were going to get that pick where they got it, and Harper was going to be there.
going to be that player.
That player, you would never have made the De'Aaron Fox trade. So you do wonder if that contract, but if they can develop the young guys, Fox comes off the bench, Harper increases his play. Do you see Vassell after the game? I was saying Harper will increase his minutes. Vassell basically said in the presser after the game, I believe it was Vassell, that Dylan Harper wasn't happy with his minutes and he would have liked to play more. Vassell said this.
I think Spurs fans would agree.
I think Vassell was wink, wink. I agree.
No doubt.
I think he's, so you wonder how they managed that De'Aaron Fox situation. Not only the contract, but if you've got a locker room full of guys that think he shouldn't be out there, you've got a pretty big problem on your hands.
Yeah, that will probably be the only fly in the ointment with the Spurs. Outside of that, they've done an incredible job in terms of acquisition, development, the whole nine. So that's your NBA update. And the Knicks are champions after, what was it, 53 years? Am I counting that right?
Yeah, 53 years.
It doesn't matter after you get past 50.
Real quick, last one. Did you see some David Adelman-esque inexperience from the coaching with the Spurs?
Well, you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that, because J.B. Bickerstaff came out and defended Mitch Johnson. And Mitch Johnson, he seems like a pretty fiery coach. You saw him get after Carter Bryant. You saw him getting after even Wemby at times when Wemby threw the ball off of Stephon Castle's back. He deserved getting on after that. Perhaps, but I'll still take that guy.
Yeah, I don't think he's a bad coach, but I think you saw some rotation stuff. Wemby sitting at weird times in the game. Just something to think about with Adelman and kind of moving forward.
Yeah, listen, when you look at the job that he's done, though, and how he was basically the heir apparent, it was
took over for the legend.
Took over for a legend, and there hasn't been a tremendous fall off. This was a team that wasn't even in the playoffs last year. So for them to go to the, and obviously Wemby was dealing with the blood clot and whatever. So I get that, but he's done a really good job. And you might say he mismanaged the Dylan Harper situation, and I don't know if that was the worst thing that you could say.
I don't get on him because I don't like when guys succeed all year and then suddenly change up what they do. There's a strategy to that when you're experienced. Bill Belichick can get away with that. But, no, I think Mitch Johnson did a good job.
Outstanding job. And think about it. How many times do guys have to get fired in the NBA ultimately get it right? Mike Brown was – if you watch the clips from this week, De'Aaron Fox was one of the reasons Mike Brown got fired in the first damn place. So Mike Brown has been all over the league. Who else got fired and then ultimately ended up having success?
Michael Malone.
Michael Malone got fired by the Sacramento Kings. Doc Rivers is another guy who had to move on to another team before he had the success. So for him to take this team this far, now ultimately he has a generational talent in Wemby, and so that helps. He got a little bit of a shot in the arm, but for them to do what they did this year, it's hard for me to be critical.
They beat OKC.
Yeah, J.B. Bickerstaff is another. He's a coach who's having success now after being fired from the Cavs. So, and then they replace him with a guy who basically coaches off of analytics and will tell you that they won every game in the Eastern Conference Finals except on the damn score sheet.
Is there more? If you're a fan of that, I don't know if you could hear a more infuriating quote from somebody if you're the fan base. We won.
We won. If you look at it, if you really, I don't know what you guys are seeing, but actually, we won that game. You just gave up a 22-point lead with 7.5 minutes left to go in the game. So,
no big deal.
No big deal at all. So, listen, there's some teams. I feel like the NBA is in really good hands. And I know people kind of go back and forth on how much they're a fan of the NBA. I don't know if it's, I feel like it's in really good hands. There's young talent. There's good coaching. There's a mix of international talent. And I think that the national guys are doing pretty well for themselves as well. So, if you're a fan, you've got a reason to be a fan for the next decade.
I think it's important that you go into a season feeling like my team can win it. And that's where I think the NBA's at right now. When KD goes to the Warriors, there's a sense of why would I even
bother? Why
would I even watch this? And it felt, growing up it was exciting because Mike was so great. But it feels like right now in the NBA, if you're a fan of a team, you're sitting there going, boy, we could do it this year. Or we're young, in a couple years we can be there. It just doesn't seem to have the roadblocks. Now, if you're a team like the Nuggets who finally got good and they implement this second apron nonsense, then that's really sucks for us. But I do think the NBA is in a good spot right now. I've enjoyed it more recently, and maybe other people haven't. The flopping's terrible, I get it. But and it's teams like Milwaukee. It's teams like Denver, and then you get Toronto. So it's been the amount of teams that have won their first one in the last decade is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. I like that we are out of the era of the knock that I have on guys like KD and LeBron James. These guys are all-time greats. But the fact that they had to uproot themselves from a team that drafted them, developed them, and ultimately made them contenders and go to somewhere else and join other all-stars in order to win a championship. That's the only reason that those guys for me are in that second tier of all-time greats in the NBA. So
KD for sure.
I'm glad we are out of that era and we're back in the draft and develop and organizational basketball.
Yes. Yeah, it's better. It's easier to latch onto. KD, the super team really didn't work. Overall, it worked with the Heat, and it worked because KD. There was just a weird thing with the CBA, but the Clippers tried it, and they accidentally created a super team somewhere else.
I didn't realize everything they gave up for Paul George.
Oh, look, Paul George is a Hall of Famer, but is he that?
How many was it? 6 first-round draft picks
and Shea,
and a 2-time MVP. Here, just take it all.
For Paul, and Paul George was, and he had a great year in Oklahoma City the year before, but was Paul George on the ascending part of his career when they made that trade? No.
I don't know that there's a player worth that many first-round draft picks. And then so the Thunder were already really good at drafting and developing. This is a team that drafted Russell Westbrook and Reggie Jackson and James Harden. I can go on and on and on. So they were good at that already. To basically load the chamber for them and say, here, we know you guys are really well, but go ahead and take an MVP. We didn't know he was an MVP at the time, but then take all these first-round draft picks so you can maneuver for the next decade and a half. Like, shame on the Clippers. They almost should be. They should be suspended from. Like, play next year with 29.
Yeah, they don't get to.
You don't get to play, man. You're like the Browns in the Deshaun Watson contract. You basically you sent the entire league in a completely different direction.
They did. Now imagine this: in 5 years, somebody tells you, would you trade Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for Paul George? Would you have ever done that trade?
And the answer
straight
is
up,
hell to the no.
Straight up, just 1-to-1. No, and then you find out, wait, they attached what?
6 of these things. Was it 6 or 7?
It was 5 first-round picks and then 2 swaps.
That's
plus Gallinari.
Plus Danilo Gallinari.
Nuggets legend, Danilo Gallinari. Does last night, with the Knicks winning, the Spurs, do you feel more optimistic about the Nuggets going forward?
No.
Okay.
Alex?
More optimistic about the Nuggets?
Does it change the way you view the Nuggets at all?
No. I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm still going to watch. I'm invested. I'm rooting. I'm a Nuggets fan. I know people are going to hear it. They're going to clip it up and say, Kyle said, the Nuggets are bums. That's not what I said.
Right.
I just don't put them next to the Spurs, The Pistons, who beat them twice this year, by the way. The Thunder. I'm not crazy optimistic about that.
Okay. I think I got to see what it looks like before I know.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a crazy optimist either.
Well, I don't know if it's next year. I don't know if it's next season. 2-3 years from now, depending on how they set
So
up.
they're going to play better with a 33-year-old Nikola Jokic?
Jokic will be fine. Jokic is going to be good for a while.
Okay.
Jokic will be fine.
All right. Speaking of guys that'll be fine, I'm worried about the Avs. I am, because there's a run-it-back mentality. We've got the what's this, Game 6 of the Stanley Cup final coming up tonight between Vegas and Carolina. We're going to break that down and what that means for the Avs when we come back.
Broncos country, Sean Payton is locked in. The head coach and the Broncos have agreed to a new 5-year deal through 2030, keeping him paired with GM. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
2026 is shaping up to be an amazing year to buy a home in Colorado. If you've been dreaming about getting into your first place, upgrading for more space, or downsizing for a simpler lifestyle, now is a smart time to start planning. And the first step is easy. Get pre-approved. With American Financing, you can get it done in 24 hours or less, so you'll know exactly what you can afford before you start shopping. Rates have been dropping, home prices are steady, and more homes are hitting the market. You could score the right home at the right price and lock in a monthly payment that fits your budget without stretching yourself thin. And unlike renting, every payment you make goes toward your future, not your landlord's. And here's a misconception that they love to bust. You don't need 20% down. Many buyers purchase with as little as 3% down. So if home ownership is on your 2026 goals list, make it happen. Call American Financing, 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at americanfinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
In the playoffs, games are won and lost in overtime, where the pressure is at its highest. In your facility, overtime starts the moment the power goes down. That's when experience makes the difference. For over 40 years, Piper Electric has delivered expert electrical construction, service, and maintenance, including fire alarms and large-scale power distribution. Their licensed electricians are built for high-pressure situations and complex projects. Starting something new? Make the call that keeps you out of overtime. Include Piper Electric. Visit piperelectric.com.
Where will you find her perfect engagement ring?
There's only one fine jeweler in Denver with all the world's top bridal designers. I'm Michelle Williams.
And I'm Bruce Williams from Williams Jewelers. Only here in our bridal design gallery will you find Gabriel & Company, E. Jaffe, Parade, and the legendary Takori.
Thousands of diamond engagement rings. Every style and every price range. If it's on her Pinterest page, it's here.
Add to that our famous Williams Jewelers Diamond Bar with almost every size, shape, and price range diamond.
And our expert diamond professionals will help you put it all together perfectly.
At the guaranteed best price in Colorado, we even have flexible payment terms for qualified buyers, so you can do this today.
That's why more couples say will you with Williams.
Where Colorado shines.
Williams Jewelers, we can make diamonds a part of your life.
Williams Jewelers in Cherry Creek North on 3rd Avenue between Fillmore and Detroit, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
On top of home and auto, Progressive protects your boat, RV, and motorcycle so you can explore the unknown.
Actually, we just take the RV to the same campground every year.
Well, maybe you can catch your own dinner on your boat.
Oh, we can actually get pizza delivered there from this brick oven place we love.
Will you at least try a new topping?
Honestly, probably not. We kind of have a go-to order.
Fine. Just bundle home or auto insurance with your outdoor vehicles with Progressive and stay protected when you go, I guess, where you've gone before. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
Hey, it's Mike Evans. With all these Bluebird days in Colorado, enjoy the view through energy-efficient windows from Bluebird Windows and Doors. All June, it's their Buy More, Save More event. Save up to 20% on your window and door projects. And when you mention you heard it from me, you'll save an extra 5%. Bluebird's family-owned, serving the Front Range for over a decade with windows, doors, and siding built for Colorado's harsh climate. Financing available. Visit gobluebirdco.com. Bluebird Windows and Doors. Make today a Bluebird day.
Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents Kyle Reese and Marcello Romano.
Okay, little Empire State of Mind.
There you go. Hove. He's doing 2 shows this summer. Greatest rapper of all time.
Actually, he added a show in Los Angeles.
I know. I tried to get tickets.
My wife got him.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Are you going?
Yes.
I was trying to get tickets.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Where are you sitting?
I have no idea.
Kind of a big deal.
My wife did this.
Don't say it over the air because I don't want anybody to go, you paid what? But text me later.
Okay.
And let me know what was paid. Because I was looking at tickets. They were very upper level of SoFi Stadium, and they were $380. And me and my buddy were like, bouncing back and
Flight,
forth.
hotel, this
yeah,
like a $1,500 trip by the time you get done with all of it.
But the king of the deep cut on the album, Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Just greatest. So that's going to be great, man.
Definitely
I'm excited you're going.
Appropriate with the New York Knicks winning their first championship since the early 1970s. And there's another team that's going to be looking for a championship. This is not going to be as long for the Knights if they can pull it off. They've been pretty good over the last 10 years. But for Carolina, man, this is a big deal. And there were times where I've watched the NHL finals and I've said, Vegas is just better than them. Mm-hmm. But Carolina keeps figuring out a way to turn it on in the third period. There's something magical about the third period for Carolina. And they find themselves with a 3-2 lead. And it's going to be exciting to watch. I think it's been a really good, not only for the NBA, but NHL. The finals have been really, really compelling.
Yeah, and it's I think the styles of plays you see from the teams make it the style of play you see makes it compelling. These teams are good to watch. Carter Hart now would have liked him to play like that a little more against the Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah, yeah. It seems like I don't know if it takes them a while to figure Carolina, but you saw a little bit of that in the Eastern Conference Finals against Montreal. So, yeah, it's been fun to watch. They haven't won in a long time, so that's something to celebrate down there if they can indeed pull it off. And there's been, I guess it's 2 different tales of goaltending because for Carter Hart, it's been very up and down. But then on the other side, they've had to change from Anderson over to Bussey, and Bussey has answered the call. So for them to have that scenario go down in the middle of the finals where we've watched it not play out well, by the way, Edmonton.
Yep.
For them to have it play out the way that they have for Carolina, that's probably something worth mentioning. Is probably if they go on to win, you're going to remember that. Oh yeah, we had to change goaltenders in the middle of the damn series.
Yeah, and it's something the Avalanche tried to manage themselves throughout the playoffs. And we've seen it.
Yeah, fail.
Yeah, did it? Yeah, I mean overall, goaltending I don't think is what let them down in the Western Conference Finals, though.
No, yeah, perhaps this is a out for Bednar. And as much as I don't want to give him an out.
Oh, okay. So you're on the Bednar. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Well, I listen. If he had been let go, I would understand it. Mm-hmm. I'm not angry that he was retained.
Okay, that's kind of where I'm at. That's where I fall. Is I wasn't in this whole, you got to get rid of him, it'll fix everything. I understand the argument, though, for it both ways.
Certainly. I mean, if nothing changes, nothing changes. But he was managing a goaltending situation very similar to what Carolina had to do, and it just happened to work out for Carolina. Mm-hmm. But the team around the goaltender got better, and that didn't happen for the Avs. So I can't be mad at Bednar for pushing the same buttons that a guy that's getting ready to win the damn Stanley Cup pushed at the same time.
And it was, I mean, your top guys don't get any, they don't score in the Western Conference Finals. I mean, they're just not scoring. So The goaltender can't score. That's somebody else's job. No, very frustrating. You watch the Hurricanes and you see a team that's just very level-headed out there. There's not a lot of panic throughout the game. They trust that they'll get their opportunities. People always hate that I always compare teams to these, but to these NFL teams. One thing I'll say is Carolina, the Chiefs played like that through a lot of this run, to where it's just don't panic, just wait for your spot. Once you get your spot, they'll panic. And then you take
advantage of it.
Yeah.
And they'll make mistakes, and you'll be able to capitalize on those. But on the opposite side, Vegas is very much the same team.
Yes. Yep.
Because they've been down. They were down to the Avs, and they just played their game, which is a physical by nature, and turn your defense into offense. And
just playoff risers.
Yeah.
In Vegas. Like Marner, just playoff risers all over that team.
No doubt. So locally, Chris McFarland goes down to Nashville. Joe Sakic is going to be the man of the men. And he said, quote, "This week we could panic and try to blow everything up and start all over. But this team, what they've done over the course of the year was pretty remarkable. Now I want to give them an opportunity to try and do it again." So in radio terms, they're going to run it back.
They're going to run it back. And it's interesting. And listening to Zach By and Phil this week, I kind of agree with a lot of it. I don't necessarily dislike Joe's approach, Joe Sakic, and kind of the whole we played really well this year, but the tone of it was what was kind of frustrating. There was this tone of nothing's wrong. We're happy overall, which it should have been more of a no, we're still mad. This is upsetting. We got to figure out what went wrong and figure out what we have to fix because we blew it. That needed to be the tone. I don't know if they have to completely. I don't think they need to tear everything down. I mean, they were pretty awesome. So when you're that good of a team, I don't think you just change everything and you start ripping everything down. But they've got to figure out what to do. The Broncos between 2014 and 2015, Julius Thomas left. Terrence Knighton left. Darian Stewart. How big of a difference did that make? Gigantic. So with the Avalanche, to me, it's more of a who's your Darian Stewart?
Find that guy.
Yeah.
Very astute observation. That's why I like doing this show with
Thank
you,
you,
by the way. And so Joe Sakic, he talked about the President's Trophy. He talked about the goaltending. He talked about everything. And these were his comments on changes to be made to the team.
Well, there's always changes, but we have the core guys here. We have the nucleus. We're a deep team. We feel we're strong in all the positions. Obviously, we have some UFAs that we're going to try and sign to keep the group together. But it's a great group. They care about each other. They want to win. They're very competitive. They're disappointed, but their expectations are to try and come back and try and compete and win a Stanley Cup.
It's very hard to argue with that.
Right.
You look at that team and you say, okay, well, where can they get better at? Realistically, would you like Connor Hellebuck to be in between the pipes? Yes, but they're not going to get Connor Hellebuck. They're not going to get Ottinger. I mean, they have what they have, and it was more than sufficient this year. If you look at the entirety of the year, I think if you make the mistake of looking at that single series, and I understand why you would, then you would say, well, everybody's got to go.
Yeah, Marty Netjes has got to go.
Marty Netjes has got to. You'd be ready to throw the baby out with the bathwater. So I think Joe Sakic has a level-headed approach. While it is frustrating, I don't know where you would say, hey, this guy's got to go, and they would make dramatic changes to the team.
That's kind of where I'm at. Is it's you can't trade somebody because you're mad, and you can't bust up a team that's as great to send a message. I think if you're looking at the roster where to move, if you can somehow, and I don't know what the market would be like, flip Val Nichushkin and get a contributor that does something maybe a little bit different than Val. Val's whole thing was the power play. That's what he was good at, and that went away. And so when you're special at something and then you can't do that and you can't do something else, or like one guy I'll point out is, and he's not here anymore, Michael Porter Jr., when he would we're watching old Nuggets game here, he's playing with a hurt shoulder, but he was diving on the ball, MPJ. So you got to make up for it elsewhere. Val got a little hot later in the year. He was better later in the year. He got a goal in the night series, and I'm just picking a name. I don't think it's a massive upheaval, but can you take one of those guys and flip it for, like we say, the Darian Stewart? Can you just find somebody that does something a little bit different that contributes where you're deficient?
I think if you're evaluating guys like that, you would say, have we seen the best version? Has the best version of Val Nichushkin come and gone in a Colorado Avalanche sweater? That would be my GM approach. Probably a good thing that I'm not a GM.
Dude, if I was a GM, I'd be trading. They'd be like, stop trading.
Yes, dude, chill. Dude, chill. The guy just got here. Relax.
Stop trading.
All right, coming up on the other side, we're going to take a Sunday stroll.
Parents, looking for a fun way to get your kid active this summer?
Are you kidding me?
Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan's third annual Be a Mentor, Be a Fan Youth Football Camp is back. Brought to you by Walmart. Saturday, June 27th at Denver South High School's All-City Stadium. Your child ages 8 to 14 will learn the fundamentals of football in a safe, hands-on environment from people who played the game at the highest level. We're talking former Denver Broncos Mark Schlereth, Philip Lindsay, and Brandon Stokely, along with a trusted coaching staff from Denver South. And every dollar raised goes to Big Brothers Big Sisters of Colorado. So your family is giving back just by showing up. Sign up today at denversports.com/camp. That's denversports.com/camp.
Every hunt tells a story. Let Ties Taxidermy in Loveland bring yours back to life. Big game, birds, fish skin mounts, and reproduction. Expert detail since 2001. Call 970-669-1119 or visit tiestaxidermy.com.
Did you really think Pure Talk was just going to sit back and watch America turn 250 years old without doing something awesome to celebrate? Of course not. That's why they're raising $250,000 for America's Warrior Partnership by the end of July. America's Warrior Partnership is on the front line of preventing veteran suicide. They've had extraordinary success, and here's how you can help. When you switch your cell phone service to Pure Talk this month, you'll be invited to round up to support America's Warrior Partnership. No pressure, but if you do, Pure Talk will match your donation dollar for dollar. And to further celebrate 250 years of our extraordinary democratic republic, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for just $34.99 a month. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. That's pound 250, say Mike Rowe. And happy birthday to us.
What's up, everybody? Philip Lindsay here. Reclaim your freedom to move, explore, and live life on your own terms. If degenerative joints are trapping you in pain, Regen RX's natural stem cell or PRP therapy sets you free, using your body's own natural ability to heal. Regain the freedom you've been missing. Get your totally free consultation today and see if it's the right move for you. Give my friends at RegenRx a call today at 303-630-9770 or visit them at regenrx.co. That's regenrx.co and let them know that Philip Lindsay sent you.
If you're practicing real estate in Denver but still not getting the results you want, listen up. Agents who are winning in this market aren't guessing. They've got the right training, the right systems, and the right support. And that's exactly what you get at Weichert Realtors Professionals. Proven strategies to win more listings, technology that keeps you connected anywhere, and coaching that actually helps you close. Take your business to the next level. Call Tim Davis at Weichert Realtors Professionals at 303-302-4000. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
What if you had the most reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi and the price didn't change for 5 years? Thanks to Xfinity's summer savings event, you don't have to worry about that part of your future. Now through June 15th, get gig Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 years with equipment and unlimited data included. No strings, no commitments, and get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. You're guaranteed 5 years of Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected online from threats. Plus, you can even try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions applies, requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account, taxes and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required, speeds vary, use of fiber, coaxial cable.
Switching your account numbers is hard. Being forced to switch, even worse. That's why at Belco Credit Union, we want to pay you to switch. From June 1st to August 31st, we're offering a $300 bonus when you open a new checking account with a qualifying direct deposit of $500 or more. They're changing your account number. You can change who you bank with. Go to belco.org/switch for full offer details. Insured by NCUA. Membership eligibility required. Conditions and restrictions apply. Belco. Banking for everyone.
Walmart is proud to sponsor the Be a Mentor, Be a Fan football camp with 104.3 The Fan. Broncos alumni hosts and South High School coaches are teaming up to support Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Colorado and help inspire the next generation through mentorship, teamwork, and community.
The weekend is upon us, and we're here to walk you through today's top headlines. So lace up and join Kyle, Reese, and Marcello Romano on this week's Sunday Stroll.
All right, welcome back in Denver Sports Station 104.3 The Fan. I am Kyle Reese, John Davis, my man. We've been riding together for about 8-9 years now.
This month.
Yeah.
This month, I think 8 years.
We've got some crazy stories to tell behind that, too.
We do.
You've been here before. You know we like to go out on Sunday mornings and kind of visit some of the top headlines, take a stroll around the neighborhood, and boy, oh boy, has there been a lot going on. I didn't realize that Mr. Cooper went to jail twice this week.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering what's going on at his house that he can't seem to get this figured out, but now it's putting a kind of a black eye on a Broncos season that could be really promising, and he could be a key figure in that. Jonathan Cooper getting arrested. This was Friday morning again.
Yeah.
For the second time in a week.
Yeah, and, Sean Payton had said prior to the second arrest they had a long talk with Jonathan Cooper. Kyle, you're a coach and a dad. I'm neither. But I'd imagine it's very frustrating after you have the long talk and then somebody goes and just immediately does the thing you just talked about not doing.
Yeah, never happens.
And so with this, it's, when the reports first came out, it was kind of like, okay, that sounds like a really volatile situation, a situation where they probably shouldn't be, existing around each other. And that's what happened in place, and Jonathan Cooper, made a poor decision to try to re-engage with this woman. It sounds like she did not want to. He went to her house and, re-engage communication. And he went to her house, knocked on her door, sent her a bunch of texts. And I think the court ended up ruling him going to the house wasn't necessarily a violation, but the repeated texts ended up constituting harassment. So this is a guy that Jonathan Cooper, I think right now, for him with the Broncos, one, he needs to get this figured out, because this situation with this woman, you can't be caught in these situations. It's not healthy. It's not good. It can only lead to rough things. So he needs to get control of himself when it comes to things like that. But also, I think, from his, sometimes you're not somewhere because you're the best, but you're there because they can trust you.
Yeah, and him coming into the league the way he did. I mean, this is not Von Miller.
It's the opposite.
It's the and worked his way up. There's a ton of respect for that, by the way. Working his way up, getting paid for it, compensated. This was a 4-year, $60 million since 2024. So it's relatively new money. The production up and down a little bit, but pretty consistent. A guy that, as you said, you can count on. So for him to have his decision-making called into question this way, it's a little bit of a head-scratcher. Absolutely frustrating, because this is a team that doesn't need that type of distraction, and it's a team that prides itself on high-character guys. And Sean Payton has done really well with that since the day he walked in the door. So, yeah, it's something that is frustrating, and obviously it's been escalated now, because now we're talking about a felony charge.
Yes.
This is not just, okay, Jonathan, all right, chill out. This is a felony charge. And the judge came in last week, and he did such a great job. Alex, I don't know if you remember this or heard this, but he came on and said, you know what, I'm willing to have some grace and not judge Jonathan Cooper from his worst moment. He had a bad day. He made a bad decision. I can have some forgiveness for that. Now, second time, look, dog bit me once.
Yes.
now the dog has bitten us twice. Now we can say what we really want to say about this situation, that is flat out dumb.
It's dumb.
And it shouldn't happen.
Yeah, it shouldn't happen. And going back to talking to the Broncos, people that know me, Kyle, know if you hear me say this, I'm frustrated. If I go, what did I just tell you?
Oh, you don't have any kids?
Yeah.
You mean you don't have any kids?
But like from the Broncos' perspective, they're looking at him going, dude, and he went to her house after practice, after OTAs.
Yeah, it just sounded like right after.
So where
the
was
talk.
your head at?
Yeah.
Like where was your?
So you're hearing Sean Payton. You're watching Sean Payton, and it sounds like the peanuts can want.
Yeah.
Want. That's what it sounded like to him, because he knew in his mind, like, I can fix this.
Yeah, and he's got to fix a lot of things, obviously, now. But whatever compelled him to not be able to control himself from texting and going over there, he's got to fix that.
Okay, all right. We'll keep you tuned on that one, because obviously he's a huge part of that defense. All right, I'm not sure if you guys caught wind of this, but there was a little bit of a snafu. I shouldn't say snafu. A little bit of gatekeeping done by the San Antonio Spurs. They wanted to keep the Knicks fans out of the arena. And so if you didn't live like within 150 miles of Frostbank, they were trying to keep you, through Ticketmaster, from purchasing tickets. Did you see this?
Yeah, I did. And did they end up having to not allow it to happen? They were trying to cancel. I had read that they were trying to actually cancel the tickets that were purchased, but that ended up not happening. But they were trying to restrict it. Teams have done this. If you remember famously the World Series, those dudes in Boston all came to Denver. There was no area code restriction, and Coors Field was filled with those Boston Red Sox fans. I don't mind teams doing it, but just do it from the beginning if you're going to restrict the area.
It seemed a little petty, didn't it?
Yeah. And I don't know a secondary market if you can restrict that, so I don't know how that works. Yeah, they were trying to keep them out. I understand why they want to do it, but you got to maybe have a better plan in place to do that.
Yeah, it seems a little reactionary. It seems petty. I kind of get it, though. I get it. Like when you were listening to the game last night and Jalen Brunson was going off, you heard some cheers, like on the broadcast. So you could tell that there was a nice-sized New York Knicks contingent there.
What about Spurs fans allowing that to happen?
Beat them to the punch. Or is it the secondary market driving up the prices? Because you saw what the prices were in New York last week.
Dude.
Yeah.
If that would have gone to Game 6, those probably would have been $15K.
I would hate to hear that that's what it was, that they drove up the market to where now only, I hate to say, stereotypical Knicks fan could afford the ticket.
Right. Like, so many people have waited their whole lives and they were out
for that experience.
They couldn't even. It was cheaper to fly to San Antonio. Hey, and you know what's funny? After everything that happened with James Dolan, I think Charles Oakley was in the building last night.
Listen, yeah, you can keep your free ticket to San Antonio. I'm good at it.
Okay.
Wow. All right, on to some sad news here. Alden Smith.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Super sad. 36?
Yeah, 36 years old. Appeared on a podcast last week, and it just, I don't know, you might read too much into his demeanor, but you could tell that he was dealing with something. And right? I don't want to speculate as to cause of death, but we know that he had a troubled past. I want to talk about Alden Smith, the player, because that was a talent that was probably, we might, as football fans, always wonder what he could have been had he not been battling some of the things that guys like Chandler Jones, those kind of guys were up against.
Yeah, Alden Smith, the player, if you remember, one of the best drafts we've ever seen, Kyle.
We're going to talk about that top of the hour.
Just a really great draft. And he was right there with Von Miller and J.J. Watt in that draft. I mean, he was as effective and dominant. And I believe, didn't he end up kind of getting everything together, re-signing with the Cowboys or somebody later on?
He did sign with the Cowboys.
And so he had worked really hard to improve his circumstances. So 36 years old, man, that's super sad. That was sad to hear.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate, but Von Miller was in that draft. And like you said, J.J. Watt as well. So a huge conversation to be had around that. I want to talk about that when we come back. And then, obviously, with the Jonathan Cooper situation, Von Miller is still out on the street. Would you Bronco fans be willing to welcome Von back with open arms? We'll get into that when we come back.
Broncos country, Sean Payton is locked in. The head coach and the Broncos have agreed to a new 5-year deal through 2030. On Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
The hot weather is here. Stoke here from my team. ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Has another company told you that you need a new air conditioner? Time to throw in the challenge flag. Rocks Heating and Air offers no obligation, free second opinion. There are amazing financing options and incredible rebates too, only from the best. ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX Rocks Heating and Air.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it. Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
Colorado, it's time to take our recycling to the next level. That's why Recyclon Colorado is bringing you more curbside and drop-off service from peaks to prairies. Guidelines as clear as our skies, so you know what goes where. And the price? As free as gawking at Bighorns on I-70. You deserve a recycling system you can count on, like your puffiest winter coat. And we're here to give it to you. Learn more at recyclon.org/Colorado.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
When disaster hits your home, it's game time. Water in the basement, fire damage, mold creeping in. Don't sit on the sidelines. Call Able. Able Restoration is your first round draft pick for emergency response, mitigation, and full rebuild. We move fast, protect your property, and fight for you with insurance start to finish. This isn't practice. This is your home. And when it's time to step up and protect what matters most, bring Able to the table. Call 303-590-5600. That's 303-590-5600. Go Able. Bring Able to the table.
Don't miss the Tree Farm's Father's Day sale. Now through Father's Day. Save on thousands of trees, shrubs, perennials, vines, berries, and more. Now get up to 30% off all sizes of pine, spruce fir, and upright juniper trees, including 6-year-old, 4 to 5 foot tall Bosnian pine trees, now only $279.99 each at the Tree Farm. Now through Father's Day. Come see.
You take I-25 to exit 235. Then 5 miles west to the Tree Farm.
What's going on, everybody? Philip Lindsay here. Denver's recent hailstorm hit hard. Golf ball size hail damaged shingles, cracked siding, dented gutters. You might not see it from the ground, but your roof took a beating. And I don't want you to wait around for a leak to find out. Call Monarch Construction and Roofing today for your free no-obligation storm damage inspection. Monarch works directly with your insurance company, so you don't have to. Monarch Construction and Roofing, your local Denver storm damage experts. Visit monarchroofing.com to schedule your appointment today. Monarch Roofing is your official roofer of the Denver Broncos.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents Kyle Reese and Marcello
043 is the RamosLaw.com text line. We've got some texts rolling in. We'll get to them coming up in the next segment. So stay tuned, stay engaged, and we'll make sure we'll circle back to as many of those as we possibly can because you guys have some interesting takes this morning. We got the news about Jonathan Cooper. Jonathan Cooper has a few court dates. Now you got court dates coming up in July.
He can't leave Colorado. It's got to get approved.
Yeah, imagine working yourself into that situation. You got to try pretty damn hard.
There's certain situations where it's, I always looked at certain things like, if you try really hard in class, the teacher will probably never fail.
They'll work with you.
Yeah, they'll get you there
all the time. Just be somebody that people want to help.
Yeah, but if you're some things, it's like, boy, you went really out of your way to do this. And with Jonathan Cooper, I mean, yeah, he's gonna have to. They play Atlanta, I think, like August 4th is the first preseason game. And they're gonna August 14th. Excuse me. He'll probably have to get approval to travel to that game. They originally wanted to put an ankle monitor on him. That's not happening for him. So I mean, the judge was. I think as a judge, when it's like, why are you back here?
Yeah,
I think that's a very frustrating thing for people.
You didn't get it the first time. Apparently, and that's what happens when you kind of get a lenient deal the first time around and a smack on the wrist. So, again, I'm hoping for the best for Jonathan Cooper. It does put a little bit of a taint on the summer that is full of optimism for the Broncos, but it also begs a question for me with Von Miller. Now, Von Miller's 37 years old. He played for the Commanders last year. It wasn't a bad season.
No.
He played for the Bills in the previous years, and he won a Super Bowl with the Rams. So Von Miller, obviously, he's familiar with the terrain here.
And he wants back. Oh my God!
And he's a Bronco for life.
Yes,
like a
Mount Rushmore.
Self-proclaimed Bronco for life. He's never shied away for expressing his love and appreciation for this city. With Jonathan Cooper kind of up in the air, Jonah Ellis being moved around in the defense, could you see a stabilizing piece like Von Miller reinserted back into the fold for the Broncos?
Whew. I do think they're going to keep Jonah Ellis at edge. I think ultimately that's where they're going to land on that. Von, but the fans would love it. One thing is, without deep diving Von too much, there's some allegations that have happened with Von as well. We're very related to, with Jonathan Cooper. Different situations, different stories. But Von has been in the headlines for that type of situation as well. From a player's standpoint, I know people like to say, I think Von might have had more sacks than Jonathan Cooper last year. That doesn't mean Von was more effective at his job than Jonathan Cooper. Make no mistake, Jonathan Cooper, if he can't go, that is a big problem for the Denver Broncos. To answer your question about Von Miller, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's a fit. He'd have to be a backup. I don't think you bring him in to start. It just doesn't – I don't know if it's temporary. It is tough. It would be big for the fans. I don't know if they want him back. I think part of this era of the Denver Broncos very much is not looking back and not looking to the past. That's something the Broncos did a lot for a long time. They brought John Elway back. They brought Gary Kubiak back. It was always looking to the past. That doesn't seem to be what they're doing now. I don't know how good the fit is. I don't see it happening. Would I do it? No.
Was it Sean Payton that gave us if there's a reason why the windshield is larger than the rearview mirror?
I think so.
It was.
Yeah.
Was that Sean that did that for us? Listen, it's poetic, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think you're onto something. And that honestly, I hadn't even really thought about if that is just not in the DNA of the Broncos and their vision for the team. And they turned the page on Russell Wilson. Hey, thanks, no thanks. Tell us where to send the check, basically. Yeah. I'm trying to think of
Justin Simmons.
Justin Simmons.
Who's an all-time great Bronco. Yep. He's an all-time great Bronco.
Draymond Jones.
And
he stepped on a rake, didn't he?
Yeah. Poor guy.
No. I don't feel sorry for that guy.
Nobody will admit it now, but a lot of people are going, how could you let him walk and sign Zach Allen? Nobody will admit to that.
Oops.
But there was a lot of people saying that. With Von, also, I think there's a level of this is me speculating. I don't think when he left, they were sad to see his presence in the locker room leave. And George Payton is still here.
Yeah.
And so as much as Vaughn has campaigned back to the point where it's kind of like getting awkward how much he's doing it, because it's like, dude, I'm sorry. Like, I don't think I think there's more to just what he can do on the field, why they don't want him back with the Broncos.
Yeah, and you can imagine, like, the front office reflecting on some of those times where there was social media back and forth and the cutting out of people of pictures and
throwing parties at clubs during the season.
Was that Halloween that happened on? And so, yeah, I think when you break up with somebody and you put some time in between that, sometimes you forget about the reasons why you're not together and you just remember the good times. But I'm glad you brought up the reasons why they're not together.
Yeah.
So listen.
Wasn't there a Lil Wayne party like his last year here?
Probably everybody.
Yeah, it was. And look, they have their parties. I'm not saying these things don't happen, but with Vaughn, again, in the locker room, this is a young team right now that has something real special ahead of them. And I don't know if Vaughn is DeMarcus Ware in that respect.
The seasoned player.
The wise one.
Right. The leader, the family man, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Which would be, honestly, I could see that, though, because he's been through it.
I think he'd be willing to do it.
For him a little bit.
Yeah, and I think he'd be willing to do it. I think Vaughn would know that. I'm not saying I think Vaughn himself would be bad. I think he would do what was asked of him because he knows this is what he wants. I just don't know if the team feels that way.
That's fair enough. Fair enough, for sure. Which is, when you think about it, that's what makes the Jonathan Cooper situation even more saddening, to be honest with you, because, as you said, the player will be missed and the momentum will be missed. And this is still a young team that the wrong situation or the wrong type of publicity could send them spiraling in the wrong direction.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just the nature of the company that you keep. So I'm not calling Jonathan Cooper a bad person. I think he's made some bad decisions and some really bad mistakes that could potentially impact the team more than himself. So I think you're right that the Broncos should be aware of the type of culture. And we've heard them talk about this before.
Mm-hmm.
Like George Payton talks about this all the time. The culture guys, we want captains, we want winners, we want leaders.
They draft that way, too.
No doubt about it.
They draft that way.
No doubt about it. So, and if you listen to Marsh Lareth, he'll tell you that there are some guys that were flat out undraftable that are really good players. But because they're not a fit for the culture, it doesn't work for the Broncos. So for someone or for a team that is so protective of its culture, Bram, as in what we do around here, then this might not be the place for you either.
It might not be. You know, something very interesting. So the Broncos lose to the Ravens, right? Super Bowl aspirations going into 2013. What happened right before the 2013 season? Von Miller got suspended. He popped a drug test, I believe is what it was. I'll look that up just to be sure. But do you remember he was suspended 2013? He was suspended like the first 4 to 6 games. Or something like that.
There was a time there where it was the suspension, it was the ACL.
Yeah, and then he tore his ACL that year when he came back. So just kind of an interesting thing. Now again, what they were suspended for are two different things. And Jonathan Cooper's not suspended yet. We don't know what the league. We can speculate the league will try to come down on this. But for Vaughn, and then Vaughn rebounded and got a Super Bowl MVP. But overall, to your point with Jonathan Cooper, I don't know how his guarantees work. I do think they're up at the end of this next season, because a lot of people are saying you got to cut him, and I don't know how they're going to approach it. This is Greg Penner's first, the Walton Penner Group, right? We haven't had this since they've taken over something quite like this.
But can I be honest with you? Like, they're not people I want to trifle with. Not in that regard.
No,
exactly. Not when it comes down to the business of things.
No, they're going to be, and that's the thing. So it's going to be. I am interested to see how they react to this, because they're dealing with this for the first time. But I think if you were to ask people in that building, honestly, right now, they are really mad about the initial situation.
Okay. Second time now. All right, what the hell's going on? Alex, how about you? Von Miller back in the orange and blue, is that a no-go for you, or would you be excited about it?
Emotionally, I would like that, but I think what's best for the football team, probably not. What's best for the locker room, probably not. He's not really a leader, as John was alluding to. He's not DeMarcus Ware in there. I don't know how the young guys would feel about that, but with his production at this age and the money that he's probably going to cost, I would stay away.
Fair enough. 303-713-1043.
That's a good question.
That's the RamosLaw.com text line. How are you feeling about the potential of Von Miller returning back to town, or is this just something that is a knee-jerk reaction to the Jonathan Cooper situation, and we probably should set to the side? Let us know how you feel on that. Let's talk a little bit about Von Miller, because he was in that 2011 draft class, along with Aldon Smith, along with Cam Newton, Patrick Peterson, A.J. Green, Julio Jones, Tyron Smith. We don't talk about him because he's a tackle.
But he's an all-time. He's one of the best for that organization. Yeah.
Richard Sherman and Jason Kelsey.
J.J. Watt.
J.J. Watt as well. It's a pretty good class.
That was, and it wasn't quarterback heavy. Remember, Ponder and Locker, those guys kind of got lost in the shuffle. Marcel Darius was a pretty solid player too.
He was.
For a little bit. He wasn't.
He was.
There was people thinking we should take him over Vaughn. Can you believe that? But a really, really good draft that wasn't quarterback heavy, that set up a lot of teams. Multiple Hall of Famers. Who did you want? Do you remember who you wanted going into that draft for the Broncos? Broncos were picking it to highest they'd ever picked.
I think I was a Darius guy.
Oh no.
I can't remember, and I wish I had taken some notes. So sometimes I'll keep some notes on the draft.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, from 2014 I've got like this really long draft.
It's the worst draft.
Yeah.
It's the worst. Was that Johnny Manziel?
No, that was
Bradley Roby.
It was Bradley Roby for sure.
Year.
And I read that at least once a year. My thoughts on Bradley Roby. But anyway, I can't remember. I think I was a Darius guy. I probably waffled back and forth a little bit. I mean, just getting a defender from Alabama at that time was a pretty surefire bet.
Yeah. I wanted I had read somewhere that if Patrick Peterson played safety, he could be Troy Polamalu. I had read like one guy said that. And I was like, you got to take this guy. You got to take Pat.
You wouldn't have been wrong.
But no, I wanted Patrick Peterson. Now, I'm very happy now. As much as I just made an argument why Von Miller can't be back in Denver, I am thrilled they drafted Von Miller. Mount Rushmore, all-time great Denver Bronco. What a draft, though.
Can I give you the top five?
Yeah.
Or can you give me the top five?
Cam Newton, Von Miller, Marcel Darius, Patrick Peterson, A.J. Green.
You've got A.J. Green and Peterson reverse.
Okay. Are they in the top five, though?
They're top five.
But I flipped their order. Okay.
That is the five. So if you had basically put your hand in the hat and pulled out any one of those five, you'd be fine.
Just don't take a quarterback. Jake Locker, Christian Ponder, Blaine Gabbert.
But don't forget, like, Jake Locker was considered one of the
no, he was going to be a premier
guys, and because of the athleticism, baseball, the quarterbacking situation in Washington, probably not featuring every piece of his skill set. There was a lot of enchantment with what he could grow into, and it just didn't happen for him. Instead, Cam Newton became that player.
Yeah, he hurt his hip too. Locker, I think he hurt his hip, and I think he's one of those guys that I think if he would have come out a year earlier, he'd have been more highly touted. I think that extra year sometimes can get guys. But I also, you need the quarterback. So
guess who was 6?
Julio Jones. They traded up. They traded a future first-round pick, traded all the way up for him.
Julio Jones, Aldon Smith. Tyron Smith came in at 9, J.J. Watt 11.
What a God.
And so, yeah, that top 15 is
So 12 of the first 16 were Pro Bowlers. 12 of the first 16
What other
picks.
guys am I missing?
Robert Quinn, Mike Pouncey, Ryan Kerrigan.
All solid players.
The 3 of the 4 that were not were the quarterbacks, and the other one was Nick Fairley.
Imagine getting Ryan Kerrigan.
Nick Fairley.
And who, by the way, was a really, really, really good player.
A lot of that season, the people wanted the Broncos to draft him, like leading into that year. And it was Daquan Bowers. I think I have his name wrong, from Clemson.
From Clemson. Did he fall in that draft?
He went to the second round.
Yeah,
but he was
He was supposed to be the guy, and he fell. I think there was another guy from Clemson that actually ended up being better than him.
Probably.
Was it Shaquille? They've got so many guys that come out of Clemson, especially on that front.
Yeah.
You kind of lose track of them. But it's funny how the draft plays out. Now, this is, 15 years ago now, but it's funny how you look back on those things and you say, man, we were really wrong on that guy. But if you look down this top 10, even the top 15, as you said, Alex, you can't go wrong in this draft. And Von Miller's going to be in the Hall of Fame. Patrick Peterson's going to be in the Hall of Fame. I think you probably could make a case for A.J. Green. Julio Jones is definitely going to be in the Hall of Fame. J.J. Watt, Tyron Smith, check.
That's crazy.
This is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. And the second round actually had Andy Dalton and Colin Kaepernick, who I think both ended up being Pro Bowlers. So they did end up with some quarterbacks that didn't have the success, but they did. It did extend into the second round.
No doubt about it. Highlight of Von Miller's career for you?
Well, we'll go outside of the Super Bowl.
That's the layup.
That's kind of the one. Oh, man, highlight of Von Miller's career. There was a game, this one stands out to me, because that whole Super Bowl run, when he just nailed Tom Brady inside the 10 and he came unblocked. I mean, you want to talk about, he picked off Tom Brady that game in the AFC Championship. I mean,
that would be my highlight for him.
There was one game where they're playing Tampa Bay at home. I think it was his second year that he picked sixth. He got a pick six.
Okay.
He took it to the house. I remember that. Orlando Franklin told me that because they were drafted in the lockout, Von Miller, and remember there was a lockout. So they were drafted, but there was no contracts, there was no OTAs or anything. So they ended the lockout right before training camp. This is what Orlando told me. So Von signed his contract after everybody else. So O tells me that they're all out there practicing, and they're telling Von, this ain't like college. These guys are big, strong, fast. Whatever you think, this ain't like college. He goes, Von walks out 3 days later, best player on the field.
Hands down.
Hands down.
Just say this is not what you think it is either.
Yeah. His rookie year got a little stunted. Remember, he broke his thumb, and he had to play with a club. He was doing really well his rookie year, and then the production kind of fell off because he hurt his hand, but I mean, he was a really good player.
No doubt about it. I think for me, I go back to that pick against Tom Brady because that was in the AFC Championship.
Yep, second quarter.
Yeah, that was a huge play, and in large part because we know him as the player that could get to the quarterback. 138 sacks in his career up to this point. But when you get a guy like that's that dynamic that can then drop into coverage and be somewhere where he's not supposed to be and fool a guy who's seen everything. I think that's a highlight of his career for me. For Tom Brady to get fooled by Von Miller and to capitalize on it in that way, in that moment, because that was a huge game.
And it was
gigantic.
He took over, between Von Miller and Terrell Davis. For the Broncos, we have seen two guys hit the playoffs and just play in a way that the other team is basically saying, we're doing everything we can. We can't stop this person.
Well, I don't know. If you go back to Super Bowl 50 in Carolina and Mike Shula, I don't know that Mike Shula did everything that he possibly could to stop Von Miller. And how you go into that game and not have a better plan, there were some moments in there where he chipped him. But Von Miller is probably a player that you have to account for on every single down.
In Mike Shula's defense, he's going, they got DeMarcus Ware over
on the
here.
other side. Like, it's balanced. I get it.
Who's Shaq Barrett?
And Shane Ray, by the way.
This guy looks good.
And
Shane Ray was good.
Shane Ray was a good player just at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Just came in at the wrong time.
You had Wolf, you had Malik. Malik was a menace. Malik, that defense would personal foul their way into the head of the opponent. And do it because they knew they could recover.
Aqib Talib.
Yeah. Do you remember Shaq Barrett just landing on Tom Brady in the snow?
No,
just landing, getting the personal foul, and they just
take it.
They just didn't care. They played in Cleveland in overtime, and they got a foul, but they're in. Manning throws a pick. Cleveland's in field goal range, and Malik Jackson just by himself decides to move Cleveland out of field goal range.
Yeah, that was one of the ugliest games
It was terrible.
Yeah, that Peyton Manning played, honestly.
Yeah, Emmanuel had that big one. But for Vaughn, all those highlights, intercepting Tom Brady in an AFC championship game from that position, I think that's a pretty good. If you're going to remove the Cam Newton menacing that he did all Super Bowl and pick a play, I think that'd be the one. I think you're right.
Yeah, and then Bradley Roby made a play in that game.
Bradley Roby was good.
At the end. Yeah.
Bradley Roby was a good player.
How high were you on him coming in?
I didn't know a lot about him, and John drafted him.
Yeah.
But he, that year, 2014, his rookie year, he picked off Tom Brady in a game that not a lot of guys were doing very much good. He picked off Andrew Luck, I believe, to seal the first game to stop a Colts comeback. We know against the Steelers in the divisional round, he popped that ball out, or he recovered it. I think DeMarcus popped the ball out. So Roby was doing some big-time stuff. To me, it looked like...
Was that him against the Chiefs, too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was
Same
Brandon
year.
Marshall?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Sorry about that.
Big-time player that I think kind of got a lot early. And where's the motivation when you get all of that so early in your career?
Yeah, it got a lot early. Came into, honestly, a situation in terms of that secondary. It's like, okay, where do you fit in? Okay, what's your role in this? And I thought he played his role okay. I wasn't huge on him coming out of Ohio State for this reason. He had a knee deal going on, and Ohio State played Clemson in the Fiesta Bowl that year. Might have been the Orange Bowl, but they played them in their bowl game that year. You remember the player that was a top 5 pick on Clemson's team?
Deshaun Watson?
Sammy Watkins.
Oh, Deshaun Watson was there.
Yeah,
Sammy Watkins. The Bills traded a first-round pick.
Sammy Watkins was playing for Clemson at the time. And so in my mind, I want to see Bradley Roby take on that challenge to play against Sammy Watkins, knowing that both of you guys were potential first-round draft picks, and Bradley Roby didn't play in that game.
Oh, he just –
yeah. And listen, if it was because of the knee, then I can give him some grace on that. But I would have liked to see him as a competitor play in that game. And so that gave me a little bit of a turn it down sentiment towards him. Now, he came in, played all right. It was fine. I don't think they were wrong to pick him in the first round. But those were my notes on Bradley Roby coming out of Ohio State.
That's interesting. I do want to give you 2 names.
Shoot.
Cam Jordan, Joey Bosa. They're both available. If they've got to go 4 to 6 games without,
give me Jordan
Jonathan
for
Cooper.
sure. Because Joey Bosa's, just the injury history, but I like Cam Jordan. You want to talk about just steady Eddie.
2011 draft, Cameron Jordan.
Yeah, Cam Jordan. Oh, he's from the draft. So rank Vaughn, Bosa, Cam Jordan for me. If you were to bring one of them in, what's the order?
Oh, I thought you were going to say just in terms of career.
No,
because
Vaughn.
that was the order.
There's a very clear, yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, if you were to bring one in.
Well, Cam Jordan, just in terms of leadership, I think Cam Jordan's been the man of the year, or at least he was for his team for sure.
And who drafted him?
Saints.
Who was their coach?
You do a good job of connecting the dots here. Keep going.
Sean Payton.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to bring in anybody. It's not their style to do that right now, the Broncos.
Yeah, you would feel like he'd be a hired gun.
Yeah.
In that regard. But a guy like that you bring in, he's not going to hurt your team.
No.
What's the potential downside of that player? I can see how you could illustrate that for Von Miller, right? You laid those things out. And you're dealing with a current DV situation.
It just doesn't. The optics.
It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good. But you bring in Cam Jordan, you don't have any of that.
No, and you can get in this iteration of the Broncos. It's not their style, but we've seen Keith Brooking come in and do stuff here. Brian Dawkins, we've seen guys come in and contribute.
Barton, what was the linebacker that came in last year? Went to the Titans.
Oh, why am I blank now?
Scored against the Saints. I think he had a scoop
Cody
and score.
Barton.
Cody Barton. He was a hired gun. I thought he played really well, actually.
He did. They had just extended the other guys, so they were kind of stuck.
Yeah, kind of stuck. Well, and they didn't have any money.
Yeah.
So
they had no money. Cam Jordan's probably the best fit.
All right. Coming up on the other side, 303-713-1043. That is the RamosLaw.com text line. We will get to your thoughts on Von Miller, Jonathan Cooper, and everything in between when we come back.
Parents, looking for a fun way to get your kid active this summer?
Are you kidding me?
Denver Sports 1043 The Fan's third annual Be a Mentor, Be a Fan Youth Football Camp is back. Brought to you by Walmart. Saturday, June 27th at Denver South High School's All-City Stadium. Your child ages 8 to 14 will learn the fundamentals of football in a safe, hands-on environment from people who played the game at the highest level. We're talking former Denver Broncos Mark Schlereth, Philip Lindsay, and Brandon Stokely, along with a trusted coaching staff from Denver South. And every dollar raised goes to Big Brothers Big Sisters of Colorado. So your family is giving back just by showing up. Sign up today at denversports.com/camp. That's denversports.com/camp.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
It's no secret that the checkout line feels a lot heavier. If those daily essentials are ending up on a credit card, those double-digit interest rates are quietly draining your bank account. If that debt is starting to feel heavy, you're not alone. And if you're a homeowner, you've likely looked at your mortgage rate and thought, I can't touch that. With American Financing's Smart Equity Loan, you don't have to. It allows you to wipe out high-interest debt and lower your monthly overhead while keeping your primary mortgage intact. It's a surgical strike against debt. Unlike a fluctuating HELOC, the Smart Equity Loan is a fixed-rate loan, giving you a predictable monthly payment. At American Financing, there are never any upfront fees to find out what you qualify for. Guys, talk to a salary-based mortgage consultant today. Experts who are paid to help you save, not sell you more than you need. So call them at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at americanfinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-771-1300. That's 800-771-1300.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it'd go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
When our grandfather started Williams Jewelers in 1947 as a humble little neighborhood jewelry shop, he could not have imagined how big his dreams would grow. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Shayna Williams. Today, thanks to you, Williams Jewelers is not only one of America's largest fine jewelers,
we're Colorado's premier jeweler, with more of the world's top designers than any other store, including Roberto Coin, Marco Biccigo, Kwiat, Hearts on Fire, Mikimoto, and dozens more.
An entire diamond and bridal department with the latest engagement ring styles and wedding bands from Tacori, A. Jaffe, and Gabriel & Company.
Add to that our legendary Swiss watch collections and service center, and you have the only jeweler you'll ever need.
With over 30 jewelry professionals, master goldsmiths, and watchmakers to serve you at Williams Jewelers, you'll still always be treated just like our grandfather would.
Like family.
Williams Jewelers, we can make diamonds a part of your life.
The official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche. Denver Sports 1043 The Fan presents Kyle Reese and Marcello Romano.
Welcome back in Denver Sports Station 104.3 The Fan. 303-713-1043 is the RamosLaw.com text line. We're going to go we've got quite a few texts, so we're going to just fire them off here. This from the 720. The AFC Championship game against the Patriots. Von Miller dominated that game. We talked a little bit about that. Apparently that's etched permanently in the memory of a lot of Bronco fans.
Yeah, and that was when we really – that season's funny because that defense was so dominant. I use that defense, the Broncos 2015 defense, as an example about stats. At no point during that year did you have to check the stats on the defense because you just knew.
Good.
And Von Miller, I think if you were to ask people how many sacks Von Miller had that year, they'd probably guess 14, 15. It was 10, which is good. But the effectiveness goes beyond the sacks and the way that defense played. But that was really because you remember Von – he got suspended in 2013, blew his ACL. He was fine in 2014. But we had seen him more in 2011, 2012 bump up against that greatness, and then there was a bit of a lull. But 2015 was the reemergence of that number 2 pick to who we now know him as today.
Yeah. I think, it's been up and down for him for sure, but in totality, we'll look back and say, man, that was a pretty good career.
Yeah, top Mount Rushmore, Denver Bronco. I think top 4 Denver Bronco of all time, and when John Elway, Peyton Manning, and Terrell Davis are the other guys, and it's an organization with Shannon Sharp and Champ Bailey, it's pretty good.
No doubt about it. All right, from the 303, didn't Cooper's attorney stress to him the seriousness of the charges against him? He doesn't have a lame duck attorney for sure.
Yeah, he's got a guy.
He knows some people.
Yeah, he's got Steinberg, who's already doing some stuff. I think something got changed, and I don't want to speak out of turn, but whether it be the order of protection, there's Steinberg's already kind of got him a win in some spot. It's not a huge, but Steinberg's very effective. I believe everybody stressed to Jonathan Cooper the seriousness of the situation, which makes his decision that got him arrested again so frustrating, is that I think everybody let him know. And the fact that he didn't have the self-control in that moment is what is going to ultimately really stick out and hurt him long-term, hurt Jonathan Cooper long-term.
Out on the 720, Von Miller needs to give it up just like Justin Simmons did and retire as a Bronco. Justin Simmons retiring recently here. Bowed out gracefully. I will say that.
Very on brand for him.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And, has done some press and appeared on a few podcasts and shows, and we're available, by the way, if you want to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, listen, the 2 careers aren't comparable, but you can appreciate a guy calling it quits when it's time, because when guys stay too long, that might put a little bit of tarnish on how you remember them as a player.
Is Russell Wilson there?
The guy that stayed too long?
Another recently retired guy.
That stayed too long?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Yes, exactly. It's weird to me people think Russell Wilson's not a Hall of Famer.
9 times in the Pro Bowl, went to 2 Super Bowls, won 1 of them. And you can say it was because of the team around him, but there are worse guys in the Hall of Fame for sure.
Well,
Aaron Rodgers is another guy. Stayed too long. It's just too damn long.
Yeah.
I don't need to see Aaron Rodgers play in another NFL game. It's not going to influence my opinion about the player one way or another.
No, and that's why they wait the 5 years with the Hall of Fame, is they don't want the recency bias to be. They want you to be able to kind of reflect. Look, Peyton Manning and Tom Brady ruined it for everybody. They went out. I mean, Manning literally went out on top. Brady didn't win a Super Bowl in his last year, but he was still very good. But what I would say to everybody, you ain't Tom and you ain't Peyton.
There's only 2 of those guys. Alex, can you think of another guy that stayed too long, outstayed his welcome? You ever have a friend that wouldn't go home?
As far as quarterbacks go?
Anybody, no, just any player. I'd take any sport.
Unitas and Namath both played, I think, a little long. I wasn't around, but they played for other teams.
Smoking cigarettes in the locker room.
Yeah.
Udonis Haslam stayed too long.
Yeah, Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice is another really good one. And the Braves stayed way too long, too.
The Braves were trying to get out of there. They were trying to go.
Hey, man, it's time to go, Jerry. We're done with this, man. Just take the shaver to this whole thing.
Shaq
played for the Cavs.
And the Celtics.
And the Suns.
Yeah.
Maybe Emmitt Smith. I think he finished with Arizona.
You forget that he wore that Cardinal uniform. It was just weird. It looked like it looked like a little league picture. If you ever see him, he's got one knee and he's got the ball.
doing
like,
the thing.
Yeah, like player of the month.
Stayed too long. You know, a lot of guys
and then
did.
Favre, I think, is the obvious one.
Not a Favre guy. Not a Favre guy.
The holding out because I don't feel like doing training camp thing.
Every year.
Yeah.
That Willie won't eat every year. And then, boy, Aaron Rodgers became Brett Favre. It's crazy with how they handled their career. Not so much off the field, but stayed too long. That's an interesting one, guys. You know, Champ Bailey went to New Orleans. They said it wouldn't work, so he said, hey, I'll retire.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm good. 303-713-1043. That's the RamosLaw.com text line. This is on the hockey conversation. Yes, trade McKinnon for Hellebuck. This is from the 720.
Okay.
Congrats. I read the text.
Yeah. I don't.
Yeah, nah.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Would that be an even trade though? Let's just kind of put the ridiculousness of it to the side for a second. That's their best player for your best player.
Is Hellebuck a top 10, a top 20 all time guy? Is McKinnon? I think that's actually an interesting conversation too.
You could ask the question and not immediately dismiss it for both players.
Right.
So right. I think that is a sufficient answer.
Yeah.
And Hellebuck is a Vezina Award winner.
Yep. McKinnon's an MVP. He's a heart. Here's the thing.
I could talk. No, I can't be.
The big question is, it's more of just a why would you? Does it make either team a Stanley Cup champion? I don't know. I don't think either team's interested in that deal. I don't know if that gets the Avalanche. I'm going to be honest. It's a really weird question to answer. To the texter, we laughed at it when they sent it in, but now they've got us kind of like, huh? What does that look like? I wouldn't do it.
What do the Avs look like without Nathan McKinnon? And let's not pretend like he had a great Western Conference final.
Well, the Avalanche couldn't score with him, so I don't think removing him increases their chances of scoring.
I think it might be onto something. All right, this is another player that stuck around too long, Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson, didn't he play with the Titans?
Yeah, the Saints, the Titans. Did he
do
the Lions? He did the Lions. Adrian Peterson, he hung around. Yeah, he was around quite a while.
I've got two more here. Tony Dorsett. Now, probably a little bit too young, but the second one is Joe Montana, and I'm going to disagree with
He
that
did not stick around too long.
because Joe Montana took that Chiefs team to the playoffs.
To the AFC Championship.
Yeah.
No, Joe's body was failing him over and over again, but Joe Montana had a post-injury Joe, I was of the mind, I was young, but I was in elementary school arguing Elway over Montana for my life back then because Elway hadn't won yet. Joe was a product of the 49er system in a lot of people's minds until he went to, not in a lot of people's minds, but there's that argument. He had the West Coast offense. You know, he did win a Super Bowl without Jerry, but when he went to the Chiefs and got them to the AFC Championship, it was like, okay, this guy's pretty good. My least favorite game of all time, Monday Night Football, Chiefs over Broncos, Montana versus Elway. 4th grade, I cried. You know that game?
Yeah, I do remember that game.
I hate that game so much.
Oh.
More than the Jags, more than the Ravens.
Well, you want to talk about two all-time greats going at it.
Just duking it out on Monday Night Football. But I wanted John to beat Joe so bad.
I was a huge Joe Montana
That's
fan.
stupid. Why? You lived here.
Yeah, that doesn't make me not a Broncos fan.
55-10?
Yeah. I was conflicted. I also liked the Bengals. I liked Icky Woods and Boomer Esiason.
Icky Shuffle.
And James Brooks. Rodney Holman
Anthony
was on that
Munoz.
team. Munoz was on that team. There's Ashley Ambrose.
Ashley Ambrose, what a pull.
Yeah, I liked the team.
You liked the Bengals.
I was a Bengals fan. That was my.
Well, this was pre-Mike Shula.
Bill Walsh, going back to the Bengals.
Yeah.
I'm trying to justify it. There is no justification
Doesn't work.
for it. Yeah, I was young. It just wasn't what it was. I had no allegiance. All right, this might carry us into the next segment here. People complaining about the Nuggets titles, the Nuggets title chances, obviously weren't here for the entirety of the team before.
That's a great point.
We used to suck, and if we still suck, that's okay. Are you okay with this being the end of the title era for the Nuggets?
No, and it shouldn't be. You still got big men.
Okay.
It should not be.
I want I want you to hold that thought because we'll touch on that when we come back at the top of the hour. But for now, Alex, you got questions for us?
I got some questions.
We got some answers.
Broncos country, Sean Payton is locked in. The head coach and the Broncos have agreed to a new 5-year deal through 2030, keeping him paired with Denver Sports 1043. The Fan.
It's hot out there. Stoke here from my team, ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Are you ready for one of the hottest summers we've ever seen? It might be time to cut your air conditioner and draft a new high-performing air conditioning system that will keep you and your home cool and comfortable. There are amazing financing options and incredible rebates too, only from the best ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair, ROX, rocks, heating and air.
This summer, the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich and Pineapple Dragon Fruit and Sprite are back at Chick-fil-A.
Let me tell you about the Pineapple Dragon Fruit and Sprite. It's bright, it's bubbly, it's back.
The Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich, it's so rich, and you can choose between the original or the spicy filet.
Ooh, boy.
And then you got those pickled jalapenos tucked right under the filet, and then just to top it all off, you've got a little honey drizzle right on top.
Okay, now I'm a pimento fan.
And I'm feeling the dragon fruit.
Which fan favorite will you choose? Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Drivers who switch to Progressive could save hundreds just by bundling home and auto insurance, because you can't go wrong saving money. Unless you spend it on a guitar and never learn to play it but lie and say that you did. Then someone hands you a guitar at a party and asks you to play, so you decide to improvise this.
Well, don't you know that but that's not it. Dreams are fun and also good.
Yep, you can't go wrong bundling and saving money with Progressive. Well, depends on how you spend it. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
What if you had the most reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi and the price didn't change for 5 years thanks to Xfinity's summer savings event? You don't have to worry about that part of your future. Now through June 15th, get gig Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 years with equipment and unlimited data included. No strings, no commitments, and get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. You're guaranteed 5 years of Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected online from threats. Plus, you can even try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions applies, requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account, taxes and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required, speeds vary, use of fiber, coaxial cable.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sinks overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it'd go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
For 90 years, Belco Credit Union has proudly called Colorado home. That's thanks to all our members who have helped us grow alongside our beautiful state. To celebrate our anniversary, Belco is offering a special low fixed rate on a new home equity choice line advance. If you've been waiting to start a new home renovation project, now's the perfect time. Go to belco.org/90 years to see full offer details. Equal housing opportunity lender. Membership eligibility required. All loans subject to approval. Belco, banking for everyone.
Denver Sports 1043 The Fan presents Kyle Reese and Mark.
Sean Payton got some new money, deserves it, by the way. George Payton, coming on the heels of George Payton getting a new deal as well.
For mid-June, a very eventful week.
Yeah, I wish I could stretch this out because it's going
to be July soon.
The dog days of summer are for sure coming. All right, this is the part of the show where we try to sound smart. Alex has got some questions for us. Alex, fire away.
Okay, in the leadoff spot this morning, there's going to be a major shakeup in the Nuggets broadcast booth as Altitude opted not to renew the contracts of longtime announcers Chris Marlowe and Scott Hastings. These two, along with Chris Dempsey, they've been kind of synonymous with Nuggets basketball for a long time. If you could, give me an adjective to describe how you feel about this news as kind of a Nuggets fan, someone who's followed the Nuggets for a long time.
You know, I don't know if nostalgic's the right word, but, you know, it's been the voice for a long time. Super talented guys. You know, anytime something like this happens, you're never happy, you know, when people, you know, they're getting moved on from. But all three of them, I've been watching the Nuggets for a long time. These are three names that I'm just used to seeing. So on Nuggets broadcast. So gonna definitely miss hearing them out there. So I think nostalgic, especially because they're the voice through what I thought would never. And these guys, all three of them were right there when it happened. So nostalgic.
No doubt. You stole my word. It's kind of weird how we had the same word in our mind. But I'm appreciative for sure.
That's a good one.
I think Chris Marlowe, I think the world of him. And then to find out like he's a super nuanced guy, he's super involved in the volleyball world.
He's an Olympian himself.
It's deep in the weeds.
Yeah, like
with the
and
volleyball.
he does the Olympics for NBC. I think. So Marlowe.
So it's a familiar voice for sure. Chris Dempsey's a local guy. I believe Chris Dempsey went to Montbello. So obviously there's a connection there. And then Scott Hastings always reminds me of when I first started listening to sports radio when it was him and Al back in the day. And this is like, 2006, 2007, somewhere in there. So I got a great deal of appreciation for not only those guys, but all the guys that came before. So I'm a huge Theory Smith fan. I'm a huge Sandy Clef fan. And obviously Irv and Joe have their fingerprints on all of us. Mm-hmm. I think even our style of radio, sometimes you hear Irvin Joe in almost every broadcaster in the city. So there's just a ton, D-Mac, you name it. I just have a ton of appreciation for all those guys. So not to exclude those guys. So, but everything has a season, my brother. What you got next?
NFL.com had an article titled 9 Dark Horse Candidates to Win MVP this year. The top 5 guys were Brock Purdy, Trevor Lawrence, Jared Goff, Jaden Daniels, and Sam Darnold. Would you consider Bo Nix a dark horse candidate to win MVP?
No.
So let's define dark horse. Would you be surprised if that happened, or could you see it happening?
I think you have to see it happen.
Okay.
It's like a guy, like the dark horse candidate to win the Super Bowl is the team that you legitimately think can go in there and do it that nobody's talking about. Like I think Green Bay in 2011 when they won was a little bit of a dark horse.
They were a wild card team, weren't they?
Yeah. So for this, love Bo Nix. Love what he's doing for the Broncos. I think, what he showed out. But I don't think the way this team's set up, I don't think Bo Nix would be a dark horse candidate. Of the names, name the 5 they had on there again.
So the top 5 were Purdy, Trevor Lawrence, Jared Goff, Jaden Daniels, and Darnold.
I
think 3 of those guys take a step back.
I don't think you think Trevor Lawrence takes a step back?
Because that's what he does.
Goff, of all those, to fit the true dark horse candidate, I think Brock Purdy would be the most like whoa, that guy, nobody was talking about it. I could see Trevor Lawrence winning it, but I don't know if he'd be a dark horse because they were so prolific last year that I think there's eyes on that. But Bo Nix, you see, I don't see Bo as a dark horse MVP candidate stylistically. The way the team goes, I guess we got to see Davis Webb, but I don't. And I love Bo, but not there.
So Matt Stafford won it last year. He threw 46 touchdowns last year.
Yeah. They have Sam Darnold as a dark horse, the quarterback of the defending Super Bowl champions. Yeah, Stafford won it, and it was Stafford and Drake May.
Here's the problem. If Bo Nix has to throw the ball that much, and he threw the ball a ton, matter of fact, threw the ball the most.
More than any of those guys.
if he has to throw the ball that much, I don't see that being. I think for this team to get better, they're going to have to find a balance, which means Bo Nix throwing the ball less, which means he may not have the.
Would lead me to believe they were losing
And that
in
would
a
be-
lot of these games.
And so, yeah, that would
Yeah.
like if you're close to a 500 club because you're down a lot, you're probably not going to be in the MVP conversation. So
Love Bo Nix.
No on that one.
But, yeah.
Not an indictment of Bo, though.
Yeah.
That's not what I said. All right, what you got next, Alex?
Okay, with the Broncos signing Sean Payton to a 5-year contract through the 2030 season, since his arrival, Payton has guided Denver to an average of 11 total wins per year, and he has totaled the 6th most regular season wins in the NFL during that span. He also has the 2nd most regular season wins among active NFL coaches, just behind Andy Reid. For you, what is the number one thing that Sean Payton has brought to the Denver Broncos? What is the best thing he has done since coming here?
Well, I'm going to take this one because I'm going to pass it to you because there's something you did that I appreciate. I just like the consistency. Whether you like the messaging or not, doesn't matter. It's been pretty consistent. Now, you get your blips on the radar, like with Jared Bell in USA Today and, him disclosing certain things about Bo Nix and his injury history. You get those things. But I think Sean Payton has been really consistent in a program that needed consistency when he walked in the door. So I'm appreciative of that. But one thing you said when we were doing the Broncos pregame before they played the Chiefs, you said you have to separate Sean Payton, the head coach, and Sean Payton, the offensive coordinator, because he has absolutely excelled as a head coach. As a coordinator, there's still some things to be desired. And that stuck in my head. So thank you for giving me that.
Yeah, well, and I think a lot of people judge him off the coordinator more than the head coach, like a lot of the critiques. What I would say with Sean Payton, what I think is most important that he's brought to the Broncos, obviously culture's the easy one. I'll say buy-in. And with that, the reason I say that is the media can bash him, and he catches his fair share. The fans or the media don't like what he does. The only guys that matter are the 53 in the locker room, and those guys buy in to what he does. Those guys have bought in. He's gotten buy-in with talent rosters that were not perceived to be talented, but they play together. That's why kind of the Von Miller discussion, I don't want him here. Nobody's been bigger than the program, it's felt like, from a player's standpoint. He's had everybody continually be about each other. When Nick Bonito bats that ball down, the whole team swarms Nick Bonito because that was his moment. But then the next week when it's somebody else's moment, that guy gets swarmed. So just total buy-in to the team.
You know when you've got a good team? When your best player or top-tier guy, when they can get it, I'm talking about a tongue lashing now.
Mm-hmm.
That means everybody can get it.
Yes.
And that is a good thing. So when you see Bo Nix and Sean Payton going at each other a little bit, don't view that as a bad thing. That is that's a maintenance move on the culture. I'll cuss Bo Nix out just like I cuss anybody else. And guess what everybody else says? Well, if Bo can get it like that,
then I can get.
Yeah.
And he likes the backbone. Remember Russ just taking it from Sean?
Yes.
And Bo sitting there arguing back.
Now, look, you got to have a leg to stand on when you do that.
Right.
Yeah, like there are certain guys that cannot do that. But I think the whole team sees that, and that's just a reset of the culture, a reminder for everybody that there's a standard that everybody's going to meet. So I can't say enough about Sean Payton as the head coach. As the head coach. I think it's been tremendous, and obviously just a card that's been well played again by this ownership group. Paying him the money, paying George Payton the money, recognizing that that's something special. They've got some synergy between the two. That's really good. All right, Alex, thank you for the questions. How did we do?
Did great.
Not
Did
bad.
great. I would have said winning culture for
Winning
me.
culture. All
There
right.
you go.
Bet.
Yeah.
Bet.
And just the overall confidence. The next time I win 7 games in a season will be the first time. That type of thing.
And speak it into existence.
That was
or
great.
not. All right, coming up on the other side, man, it's just a jam-packed June, and I love it because it doesn't happen, but we haven't talked about the World Cup. I want to talk to you about Brendan Sorsby, and then obviously the Knicks winning the championship. We'll come back to all of that on the other side.
Parents, looking for a fun way to get your kid active this summer?
Are you kidding me?
DenverSports 104.3 The Fan's third annual Be a Mentor, Be a Fan Youth Football Camp is back. Brought to you by Walmart. Saturday, June 27th at Denver South High School's All-City Stadium. Your child, ages 8 to 14, will learn the fundamentals of football in a safe, hands-on environment from people who played the game at the highest level. We're talking former Denver Broncos Mark Schlereth, Philip Lindsay, and Brandon Stokely, along with a trusted coaching staff from Denver South.
Don't give them room to breathe!
And every dollar raised goes to Big Brothers Big Sisters of Colorado, so your family is giving back just by showing up. Sign up today at DenverSports.com/camp. That's DenverSports.com/camp.
It's hot out there. Stoke here from my team, ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Are you ready for one of the hottest summers we've ever seen? It might be time to cut your air conditioner and draft a new high-performing air conditioning system that will keep you and your home cool and comfortable. There are amazing financing options and incredible rebates too, only from the best ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX Rocks Heating and Air.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
This is TV's Dr. Travis Stork for Eggland's Best Eggs. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, make sure you're choosing wholesome ingredients like Eggland's Best Eggs to plus up your nutrition. With more than 6 times the vitamin D and double the omega-3s and vitamin B12 compared to ordinary eggs, Eggland's Best supports a healthy lifestyle. Available in so many delicious varieties: classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs. Visit egglandsbest.com to learn more.
The package of seeds you see at garden stores. I just bought a few: lettuce, sunflower, and green beans. This is Jay Rickstrew for Alpine Bank, member FDIC, an equal housing lender. You may be wondering why a banker is talking about planting and not savings accounts. Well, these seeds got me thinking. Growing something new doesn't just happen in the garden. Alpine Bank can help you do that to your life too. Maybe starting a business is on your mind. Is fresh landscaping or a backyard patio something you'd like? When you have a minute, call or visit Alpine Bank. Tell us about your summer plans. Together we can plant seeds and see exciting things grow. Just like my sunflowers. Alpine Bank, committed to Colorado and you.
Hey guys, boy Steve here today about my long-term buddy Troy Hansford. And if you're thinking about selling your house for any reason, now might be the time to sell, still get top dollar. Believe it or not, my guy Troy is still offering his $5,000 guarantee. What is it, you ask? Well, if he can't sell your house at your price on your timeline that you agree upon beforehand, bam, going to cut you a check for $5,000. Who else makes the offer? Nobody I've ever heard of. And he makes that offer because he continues to spend a ton of money marketing his listings, has about 100 families approved and ready to buy right now. And if for any reason you need to sell right away, Troy can buy your house, all cash, and can close in as little as 7 days. You have a house to sell, Troy probably has that perfect buyer for you right now, waiting for you to pick up the phone and to call him. Call Troy, get your home sold for the most money. That's 720-900-4433, 720-900-4433. Troy Hansford of RE/MAX Professionals, a Colorado licensed broker. Some restrictions do apply. Want to sell your house? Then call my buddy Troy, 720-900-4433.
When you've been hurt after a traumatic car crash, you don't need a sales pitch from an attorney with big promises and a loud voice. You need a team who fights for real results fast. That's why so many across the country choose the Berg Simpson Law Firm. Berg Simpson is nationally recognized, but is local right here in Colorado. So give us a call and let our team fight for the results you deserve today.
If you've been injured, call Berg Simpson for free now at 303-790-2525. BergSimpson.com. Good lawyers changing lives.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents Kyle Reese and Marcello Romano.
All right, welcome back. Denver Sports Station 104.3 The Fan. I am Kyle Reese. My man Marcello Romano is out on assignment. I think he's actually on vacation. And John Davis, my road dog from, 2018.
2018.
Yeah. Back in studio, sitting in for Marcello, and then Alex Becker is behind the glass. It's a jam-packed June, which we don't get to say that often. The World Cup is going on, and the United States beat Paraguay the other night, and that's about all I know about that. Did you watch?
I did watch.
Okay.
You know, I'm not a huge soccer. I'm not going to get on here and pretend to be a huge soccer guy. I'm not, but I did tune in. There was a lot of excitement around the game, and the game was exciting. They get out and they're up 3-0. They had a goal called back. It was Paraguay scored late, but overall, just U.S. just was in control. It felt the whole game. It was exciting, and then I have this thing in some sports, hockey the most. Anytime a goal's scored in hockey, I'm like, my God, how'd you do that? My mind is blown every single time. Yeah. I'm like, that is unreal. With soccer, scoring is so infrequent, and so many things have to align. The field is huge. Just the skill and the technique and the way they were able to play together and time things out and get 3 early, I was like, this is super impressive.
It's the endurance for me, because I never like just running.
Fatigue makes a coward of all of us.
Of all of us. And I'd be over there with the oxygen, hey man, tapping. Hey man, you got it, man. Like, let me know when the ball gets close to the goal. It's like cherry picking in basketball.
Yeah.
And I understand that probably wouldn't work, but that's just too much damn running for me. It has brought up a really interesting conversation, because obviously when you have a international event like that, where it's hosted, you want to put on your best.
Yes.
And this brings up the conversation from the NFL about the grass surfaces. Okay, so the NFLPA came out and posted, player voices should shape their game from the ground up. A survey says 1,700 players, this is basically 92% of the league, prefer natural grass, and then call the temporary World Cup grass a slap in the face because of the artificial surfaces that a lot of NFL teams play on. Now, I'm from the old school. I played on the carpet, okay? Real turf shoes.
The AstroTurf.
So when this artificial turf came along, we thought this was the best thing since sliced bread. And it kind of was, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, it's low maintenance. We found out along the way that some of these fields can be toxic at times. You have to be mindful of that. But it is an interesting conversation that they're playing. Like, we've evolved a lot. I understand the grass argument. I would prefer it. I understand why teams don't.
I think what the teams are doing right now is looking at the grass going, oh, so you can do it.
And it's true.
It's
true.
So
like, look at our team.
Yeah.
Not only do they do it, but they do it at a high. Oh, it looks a little shabby. Let me write a check, and let's get this resurfaced between games.
And you know what? That is so what did you say? 92% of players prefer the grass?
That is it.
Think about this. You're a free agent, and you get pitched 8 to 9 games a year you'll play on grass. And this is how much more beneficial it is for you.
Well, I think that would be an indicator of if that's not just talk. Because if that was a real deal for you, and you had half the season where you're guaranteed to play on a natural surface, although it might be frozen over for the last 3 games, that would be attractive to you.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things where the rubber meets the road for NFL players, and you've got to find out if they're just talking or complaining for the sake of complaining. And so I'm going to give you a couple stats here, because last time this came up, I actually did a little bit of a background check, and Alex, you can help me on this, because Malik Neighbors tore his ACL.
And he tore it.
That was a non-contact injury.
He tore that.
You remember when Ronald Darby tore his ACL?
Yeah.
That was on grass. Saquon Barkley tore it as well. He tore that on Soldier Field. Grass. Joe Burrow. Grass.
As a rookie? One of the times.
Yeah, one
of the times.
Nick Bosa. He tore it at MetLife, so that was on turf. Tucker Kraft. Lambeau Field. Grass. You see where I'm going with this? Oh, Patrick Mahomes, Parsons.
That's here. That's grass.
Grass. And then Zach Ertz tore as well. And then Tyreek Hill had a horrific injury on grass last year.
That was everything.
So it's more than I just think the surface is a little bit of a card that's overplayed when you actually go down the significant injuries. And these are stars. I mean, we've got Nick Bosa. We've got RG3. Stephon Diggs tore his ACL.
No, the season's worse when those types of players don't play.
When it doesn't play. But in a lot of these instances, they were on grass surfaces.
So why would they? Does grass feel better to run on, to get tackled on? It makes you more confident just with how the game's played then?
I mean, you have to ask them because it's been so long for me.
It's not a safety thing. What's the stuff where they get tackled and all the stuff flies up in the air? The pellets. Yeah.
So when you coach, like the pellets go home with you. And
you got a whole room full of
them. They're in your you know this, Alex. They're in your shoes. They're in your socks. And if you play on it and you're tackled on it, it's in your underwear and it's and everywhere else. So that part is annoying for sure. And I think the original surfaces it was recycled tires.
Right.
Yeah. And they've changed that because of the heat and the disbursement of heat over the past few years. Yeah. But remember when Nebraska first came out with it and Oklahoma State first came out with it? Like this was a real innovation. And it was an innovation that spoke directly to what the players are talking about. Because you ever had road rash from AstroTurf?
I have not.
Yeah,
but
no. It's like falling on the concrete. It really is. So anyway, I just think it's probably a little misdirected anger because, like I said, a lot of these guys that have had these – Brandon Ayuk tore his ACL on grass.
Brandon Ayuk may not ever be playing in the NFL.
I want to talk about a dimwit.
What is going on? That I don't know if you'll see him play.
And he shouldn't. You want to talk about someone who – listen, we talk about youth in sports, and it always amazes me that we expect these guys to get up on a podium and articulate themselves at 22 years old.
It's nuts.
And have it all figured out.
Yeah.
And have it all figured out and appreciate the opportunity and all this stuff. Like, man, if you had me on the podium at 22 years old, I'd probably sound worse than these guys do.
We were talking between the break. LeBron James was called the chosen one at like 16. If you would have told me that.
All of that. All of that.
Could you imagine? I can't imagine me at 16.
Same vein. Like for Brandon Ayuk to take it where he's taking it and basically poke fun at the 49ers organization and call them stupid on social media for giving him the money. I think it was $50 million that they gave him.
Yeah. And they got back.
Yeah.
Well, filming yourself going 100 miles per hour, you don't have to be an adult to know you shouldn't be doing that.
It's a bad idea for anybody. All right, this is a text coming in from the 720. Field turf is too sticky, so it has increased soft tissue. It has increased soft tissue.
For the year.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Hamstring, that kind of thing.
Yeah, whenever if your hamstring gets hurt early, that's there. That's going to be there.
Okay, I'm assuming that this person is a little bit more well-versed in that than I do. I just look at the injuries and say, okay, Stephon Diggs, Tucker Kraft, it might be one of those things that they're complaining about and might not necessarily be that well-educated in. I can deal with, like, the groin and the hamstring stuff. If you can get rid of that, cool, but I think it's 50-50 in terms of, like, these are the injuries that sit you out for the remainder of this season and perhaps the next.
Yeah.
You're right down the middle.
Yeah, I'd like to know the percentage of fields, grass fields, and not, because if there's just higher percentage of grass fields, then statistically there will be more injuries just because they're played on more.
No doubt. Let's turn the page a little bit. We're going to stay with football because this was something that was interesting. I'm a huge college football fan.
I watch it.
So your preference would be
the NFL, but I lock into college football though. I tune in. I just don't get emotional over it. I just like watching it and seeing kind of the excitement of it.
Yeah. What about you, Alex? If you had a choice?
The NFL.
Yeah.
But I'm a huge college football fan, but if I had to choose, it's the league. It's the pros.
My man. Okay. That's me.
It's the best top level.
Okay. I hear you.
Spivak and Dante are losing their minds right now listening to us say that. So, they are college football guys.
I am as well.
Okay.
And part of it is seeing the journey from high school to college. And so having some connectivity to players there and watching it in that way. I think some of the innovations that you see on Sunday are starting to trickle over If you watch that Oregon offense, if you watch Andy Reid, he definitely has some influence that come from the college game. When you talk about one-word calls with Sean Payton and tempo, you see that on Saturday afternoon all day, every day. So
offensive linemen that are not prepared to play in the NFL.
That happens, but because they're not in a system anymore.
Right, exactly. That's why
these guys are free agents.
But they're learning to now adapt. But no, I don't look, when the Wildcats showed up in the NFL, I mean, it ended up getting figured out because everybody's too fast and too strong. But no, I never mind borrowing from something you see working somewhere else.
No doubt about it.
With that. So college is very innovative because they can be, because you have athletes that have the ability to do things their opponent can't, so you can get super creative and super innovative of what you can do.
No doubt about it. The huge story that broke in college football this week was Brendan Sorsby. Now, if you're not familiar with him, he was the former quarterback for the Cincinnati Bearcats. We saw him when they played against the Buffs. Was that in Boulder?
Yeah.
That was in Boulder.
Late game.
Yep. And Sorsby's one of the more highly touted kids that went into the transfer portal, got picked up by Texas Tech. We all know what Texas Tech was last year, lost to Oregon because they couldn't generate any offense. And
God, that's right.
Yeah.
That game was brutal to watch. Who was the dude on Texas Tech just tearing everything up on defense?
David Bailey?
Dude.
Number 2 pick?
Yeah, the guy who's so good. Yeah, it was Bailey. Yeah. I mean, that guy, baller. But anyways, they couldn't
Middle
score.
linebacker pretty good as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Texas Tech they've spent a lot of money.
Yes.
And they spared no expense on Brendan Sorsby. He comes down. The story breaks that he admitted to wagering $90,000. Now, this is the NIL era, that he had $90,000 to wager, because it wasn't that he was that good at betting. It was just that he had the money. On pro and college sports over 4 years, including 40 bets involving Indiana football, Cincinnati football, while he was still a Bearcat. And so I listened to Josh Payton a little bit. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with him.
Yeah.
Oh, man, does a great job covering college football. If you ever get a chance, listen to his podcast. But he talked about that this was one of the areas that everybody agreed upon. You just don't go there. You bet on games in a league that you're in. That should be enough. But then games that you played in definitely should be an area that we just don't go to. Well, he got ruled eligible to participate in college football next year. And I think everybody in the college football world is aghast. Just because, not because we don't want to see Texas Tech. Texas Tech doesn't have anything to do with this, but because this really is a slap in the face in terms of the sanctity of the sport.
Yeah,
it really is.
No,
I don't know. Does it taint it for you? Like, you're not a huge.
It was kind of it seemed like a hometown decision, because that's why you'll see in a lot of, not to go too much into it, and Dan Jacobs would be far better to say this, when you're going to court, a lot of times you'll notice people try to get where the trial or everything takes place. They'll want it away from a certain city or a certain state. This is right where they wanted it, in Texas. And I'm not suggesting anything crooked. I'm just saying it was in an area.
It's a coinkydink, though.
Yeah, but here's why it's a problem. Let's say, and there we go, oh, he was betting on his team to win. So let's say I bet on my team to win this week, right? Let's say I bet on my team to win next week. What if I suddenly don't bet on my team to win? Do I know that my best edge rusher's hurt? And so I'm not going to – it's when people say, oh, he's betting on him to win, that's not the okay situation you think. He's betting with inside information. He's betting with that you just can't do it. I think it is a slap in the face. I don't think it's cool. And also the flip side is, teams are going to say we're not going to play Texas Tech. They're trying to kind of rule on their own. It's really dicey when you start to try to circumvent a judge's decision on things, because as far as NIL and player eligibility and all of that, they are mopping the floor with the NCAA in court. Like they are.
You don't bother coming in here.
Yeah,
you're going to lose. And part of it was because you basically ruled with an iron fist and ran amok for 40 years prior to this. So now it's kind of like the get back that everybody gets against the NCAA.
Yeah, they lose everything. So I don't like it. I think a bad precedent has been set. That said, it is the precedent now, and he's going to play.
Yeah, suspended for the first 2 games, and then he is
Which
eligible to return, kind of like a Johnny Manziel slap on the wrist, eligible to return against the University of Houston on September 18th. So keep an eye on that. But
Quick question on that last one.
Shoot.
So can I now bet if I'm playing in college football and I'm going to get 2 games?
I don't see why you wouldn't.
Right.
Before, that was a question that you asked yourself, and it would be ridiculous.
Right.
This is ethically, it just doesn't make sense. And if you run that through a few times, I don't know many circumstances where you come out on the other side and say, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, because some people.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool because some people's ethics, they literally dictate their ethics on, they said I could do it.
And they did.
That's
essentially what's happened here. And so this begs the question for me, gambling now and the accessibility from Donahue.
The ref?
The ref, right? There was an issue there in terms of him fixing it. I might have special. But Terry Rozier, just at the beginning of this NBA season, and he gets popped for that. Viewed as taboo as it used to be. You don't have to go anywhere to do it. You used to have to go to Vegas to do this, to sit in the sports book and bet on games, unless you were doing it through, the guys,
unless you got a guy.
Fellas.
Yeah, unless you
were doing it that way.
No, but now you could sit on your couch. You can form the habit sitting on your couch.
It's almost too convenient.
Yeah, it is. It is. So bad precedent. Yeah, it was Jonte Porter. That's Michael Porter Jr.'s brother. Okay. I wanted to get the name, make sure I got the name in there. But yeah, not MPJ, but his brother got in all kinds of trouble. No, it's rough, man. And this doesn't help, this ruling with Brendan Sorsby.
No doubt about it. All right, speaking of betting, if you had to take Carolina or Vegas?
I think it's going 7. This series, this NHL play, this is going 7. So I think that's where it goes tonight. Vegas wins. We get 7.
All right, so this is Carolina with an opportunity to win their first Stanley Cup since 2006. And they're going to be visiting the Vegas Golden Knights for Game 6 of that final. And it's been a lot of fun. I don't know. I'm more locked into I'm having a little bit of overload right now because the NBA Finals, the NHL Finals have been really, really, really good. And now we've got this World Cup thing going on. It's like, okay, I can only pay so much attention. So I'm still locked in on the NHL Finals.
Yeah, it's been playoff hockey generally is just always better. It's exciting. Different things can happen. Teams get hot and they can stay hot. And you can get exciting stuff like this. I haven't enjoyed watching it. I didn't watch Game 1 because the Avalanche thing had not worn off of me yet, and so I wasn't into watching it. But naturally, you get intrigued by it, and that Game 3 was pretty exciting. So, not excited about either about the Avalanche not winning, but who are you cheering for?
I'm cheering for Carolina.
So am I.
I don't have a ton against Vegas.
I do.
I don't despise them in that way.
It's funny because Dallas is the boogeyman, but in the past 5 years, Vegas has thoroughly embarrassed the Avalanche in the playoffs more than the Dallas Stars have.
Yeah, including winning 2 games on our home ice.
Yeah, they
and then coming back from a 2-0 deficit a few years ago.
2021 and dominating the Avalanche after that. It just my thing with the Avalanche was, remember in 2005 when the Steelers upset the Colts and we were so happy we didn't have to play Peyton Manning, and then what happened? They got their doors blown off in the AFC Championship game.
Wilson happened.
Yeah, and that's my same thing with the Avs. Oh, they don't have to play the Dallas Stars. But you still do have to play some teams. And it doesn't – that's why in the playoffs, never be like, oh, we want to avoid this team. You just play who you play.
You're going to have to go through.
Yeah.
You're going to have to beat somebody regardless.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you view this as a case where the Avs took their foot off the gas, or was there just no gas in the tank? I felt like it was more they just the injuries – on top of Vegas catching fire. It was just too much.
I think there's that. I think there's an element of I am not saying soft. I will never call a pro athlete anybody soft. But I do want to talk about the mentality. The New York Knicks had an all-time comeback the other night. That 29-point. I mean, that was like, can you believe it? And then what did they do? They came back and they won the next game. The Avalanche had that unbelievable comeback against the Wild. And did they feel like that's all they had to do? Yeah. It's a foot off the gas thing. It's the adrenaline dump from the emotion. Because there's no win quite like a big comeback. Nothing feels as good as coming back from the impossible. The can you believe it? I just think the Knicks had what the Avs didn't, which is that was unbelievable. We did that. Job's not done.
Yeah, but they're similar in that the Knicks wouldn't look back at the previous game, whether it was against the Cavs or whether it was against the Spurs, and say, hey, man, we played really well. Everything's all good. Matter of fact, they came out and had the same type of first quarter against the Spurs as they had in the previous game.
The previous games,
every game of the series, right?
Every game.
Spurs dominated the first quarter.
If you really watch, the Spurs won those games. I don't get it, but there was just something about the Knicks, and that's honestly, I just think the iron was hot for them. They just had the momentum and the confidence and all those things. But I think we did, in watching the Avs come back against the Wild the way they did, let our guard down and thought everything was okay, when actually they had played already a few periods of really bad hockey.
Yes. Yeah, the last few games against the Wild weren't this, like, juggernaut, unstoppable force.
Yeah, it's nothing. We can just pick this thing up and get it back on the rails. There were some things there that we probably should have paid more attention to, and in hindsight, I think they will probably say the same. Like, oh man, we had some cracks in the dam, and ultimately it became too much.
That may be why they're not panicking, because I think it's on them.
Whoa.
But you had 4 games to get it right.
Alex, do you have the panic button anywhere close? Like, are you kind of hovering above it when it comes to the Avs?
No, I think they'll be back. I think it was a classic case of running into a buzzsaw in Vegas. They'll be back. I'm far more concerned about the Nuggets than the Avs.
The Avalanche are going to be the number 1 odds to win the Stanley Cup next year.
Again.
Yeah, again.
Just don't win the President's Trophy, right?
Yeah, just don't win. Hockey is so superstitious. Either don't win the President's Trophy or don't lose 4 games. It's weird to curse the President's Trophy. It's so funny.
Right, but I always go back to the 2001 team. Dominated, best team in the league, go and win the Stanley Cup. So it can be done, but the numbers don't lie. It's been, 13 years?
Yeah, playoff hockey's weird. A lot of that, I think, is a lot of divisional, the way things are just kind of aligned, kind of breed for the President's Trophy to be not necessarily indicative of the Cup, but minor changes for the Avalanche, but it's above our pay grade to figure out what that minor change is. Because my thing is I don't have a good suggestion because I don't think anything needs to be overhauled. Things just need to be tweaked.
Yeah, and the potential of things getting worse is real.
Yes.
Like, do you really want to get rid of Brock Nelson? Do you really?
Right.
Because it can get worse from here. All right, 303-713-1043 is the RamosLaw.com text line. Keep those texts coming in, but when we come back, we are going to wake up and reset.
Broncos country, Sean Payton is locked in. The head coach and the Broncos have agreed to a new 5-year deal through 2030, keeping him paired with GM George. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Hi folks, Dan Cicchini, Done Right Home Improvements. My wife Susan and I started Done Right in our garage in 1985, doing a little of everything. We've grown to be one of the largest companies of our kind in Colorado, specializing in kitchens, baths, counters, floors, finished basements, and windows and doors. Serving Colorado 40 years. And what an adventure it's been. We've learned that the fundamentals of a successful business never change. That is, treat people like you want to be treated, do good work, price fairly, and back up what you say. That's our success formula. Here's our son Todd.
That's right, Dad. Been hearing that my whole life from you and Mom. Folks, whether it's a first-class kitchen renovation, an awesome turnkey bathroom remodel, a full-service basement finish for some extra space, or replacement windows and doors that will wow you, give us a call. With an 8% scheduling incentive and bank financing to ask about, now couldn't be a better time.
Kitchens, baths, counters, and floors, finished basements, windows, and doors. You have our word. We'll treat you right at Done Right. Call us to reserve your spot in our schedule. 303-722-2295, 800-362-8370, or drhi.com.
Switching your account account numbers is hard. Being forced to switch, even worse. That's why at Belco Credit Union, we want to pay you to switch. From June 1st to August 31st, we're offering a $300 bonus when you open a new checking account with a qualifying direct deposit of $500 or more. They're changing your account number. You can change who you bank with. Go to belco.org/switch for full offer details. Insured by NCUA. Membership eligibility required. Conditions and restrictions apply. Belco. Banking for everyone.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8157. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-8157. That's 800-575-8157.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
What if you had the most reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi and the price didn't change for 5 years thanks to Xfinity's summer savings event? You don't have to worry about that part of your future. Now through June 15th, get gig Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 years with equipment and unlimited data included. No strings, no commitments, and get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. You're guaranteed 5 years of Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected online from threats. Plus, you can even try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions applies, requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account, taxes and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity Internet required, speeds vary, use of fiber, coaxial cable.
Women go through many changes in their lives. And we believe each milestone matters. That every new candle represents another step in your story. Our healthcare experts support women at every stage of life because each chapter deserves to be celebrated. Women's health. Nurture what's next. Find care near you at mountain.commonspirit.org. Common Spirit Health. Human kindness lives here.
Wake up, wake up, wake up. Rise and shine, Colorado.
Good morning, Vietnam!
The sports world never sleeps, and neither do we.
Why don't you wake up and smell what you shoveling?
So here's Kyle, Reese, and Marcello Romano with your wake-up call.
Just to wake up, wake up.
All right, welcome back in. This is the segment where we reset a few of the storylines from the week or the day or the weekend or whatever it is. I think a wake-up call is appropriate for Jonathan Cooper.
Oh, yeah, and real quick, I always have to give Kyle props. Wake Up by Snoop Dogg off the Dogfather album is such a deep cut, and I didn't think anybody else knew that song, but I know that's you.
That was Richie Carney.
That was Richie?
Yeah.
That song, my
yeah,
God. But Jonathan Cooper, what happened initially is one of those that I think a lot of people, and Zach talked about this, had this. That sounds like a very volatile situation. It sounds like an unhealthy situation. Hopefully that initial situation is a wake-up call for everybody, that they have to grow up, that you can't be in situations that escalate like that, and everybody's kind of like, we'll see where this goes. The second arrest, the first situation should never happen. The second arrest is one of those like, okay, wake up, I think is the best one. The first one wasn't a wake-up call, so how do you trust this to be a wake-up call anymore?
Oh, you don't get it. Like, you remember, this is going to be, I would be surprised if Roger Goodell, his name isn't mentioned somewhere in this process. And now you got to go to the principal's office. And we remember, like, Pac-Man Jones going to the principal's office, Brandon Marshall, Plaxico Burress, all those guys. And then Pac-Man saying, you know, Roger don't want me in the script club. I don't see nothing wrong with the script club.
Oh,
you remember?
Dude, Pac-Man.
Oh, man. You don't want your name in alignment with these guys.
Right.
This is not what this organization is about. And if you go down this road, the organization's going to do. Like I said, I don't think you should trifle too much with Sean Payton or the Walton Penner Group.
Do you think Greg Penner likes being embarrassed?
Probably not.
He's new.
What has he done that's embarrassing?
Exactly.
Nothing.
He's new to the ownership. He's I think become very quickly one of the best owners with his approach. He approaches the Broncos exactly how I wanted the owner to approach the Broncos. This is the first real test of him as far as he's done a bunch of good stuff with like, look how much better I've made everything. Now you're being challenged with how you handle a very public, very, something that's tied to
this
controversy.
Is about our presentation
exactly.
as an organization. And you could tell that they care about their presentation because we mentioned the grass a little earlier on in this house.
Yeah.
The grass doesn't look right. Write the check.
Right, yeah. Cut the check. Question for you. Do you think he gets cut?
Ooh.
After the first situation, I said no. They're not going to cut him over this. They're not happy about it. But this becomes – I don't think they do because I don't know if his guarantees are up. I don't think they necessarily keep him because, we need him to win. I just think it may just be a thing that he's on the team this year and then it's done. But I could see them cutting him.
If that was an option, from a financial standpoint, I would say that you're at the point where you explore it.
Yes.
Given the post that was put out that the Broncos are disappointed. Hell, everybody's disappointed. It's disappointing. I don't know. Alex, you cut him? Is he too good to cut?
I think he's facing a suspension. I probably would not cut him, and I think it has a lot to do with his production on the field, yes.
Man.
If he's a rotational edge rusher, maybe you do, but he's been a foundational piece the last few years.
I really struggle with that, Alex, because this doesn't strike me as an organization that will compromise in that way. So this is not Jerry Jones taking on Greg Hardy and giving him $16 million for a year, who had multiple incidents and a DV charge when he got there. This is not, I'll say, Dale Carter, guys like that. I mean, there are a lot of teams that take on troubled players. This doesn't strike me as an organization that wants to do a whole lot of that.
No, I think what we'll see is I don't think they're going to be snap decision. I think the Broncos will kind of make a I think they'll be very, I don't know if patience is the right word. They will make sure they gather every piece of information they can. They'll evaluate it. I ultimately don't think they cut him for just a variety of different reasons. None of us are in the position, to decide if that happens. But I'll put it like this. The fact that Jonathan Cooper has got himself into a situation where we're discussing him being cut, that shows how bad
that's the bigger problem.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, before this incident, you would consider Cooper one of the higher character guys on the team, right? His work in the community
had no reason to believe
prior
otherwise.
Anything, so
we were not led to believe otherwise. That's why I think a lot of this is very shocking to a lot of people, especially the returning to it. Just seems like a real kind of just, what are you thinking? So wake up. For
sure. Let's move on here because the Knicks did win their first NBA championship in a really, really long time last night.
I don't think Star Wars was out the last time they won.
Holy smokes, that was a long time ago. Part of the, I won't say reemergence, but part of the turnaround was the acquisition of Karl Anthony Towns, Julius Randle, and Dante DiVincenzo, who proceeded to cuss all the Brunson family out during a preseason game, I think that was. But they go to Minnesota, and the Knicks get back Karl Anthony Towns. This in his second year there. He was a huge part. He and OG Anunoby is probably the unsung heroes. Jalen Brunson's the MVP, but there were some guys there that played a huge role. Tim Connolly built up that Minnesota team. And we all have heard the story. He built it up in a way that they can contend with the Nuggets. But he also was the person that was a part of that Karl Anthony Towns trade. Where will that trade go down in your memory bank in terms of NBA history now that Karl Anthony Towns is a champion?
Well, we'll need some time with it. For one, good for Cat. Good guy. Did not want to leave Minnesota. If they don't get a championship out of Ant, it's going to age real bad. Because if they keep Cat one more year, they probably got a good shot against Oklahoma City. last season. So it was not a contract. From a money perspective, they couldn't have maintained it in Minnesota much longer. But no, it's going to age bad. If Ant ends up leaving and they don't get a championship, Tim Connolly is going to be the guy that traded Cat and built a team that could beat one team but couldn't beat any of the other ones.
Yeah, his production, especially early on in the series, out of this world. Now, he had some ups and downs and obviously got into the foul trouble last night.
He had bad fourth quarters
to
in
the
the
point
series.
where he couldn't be on the floor.
Yeah, I don't think he had any points in any of the fourth quarters.
Yeah, that wasn't good, but I don't think it can be denied that he was a key piece in that finals run for the Knicks, for sure. Where does that fall for you, Alex, in terms of the trade for Julius Randle and DiVincenzo?
I think the Dallas Mavericks in the situation look worse than anybody else. They had Jalen Brunson and Luka Doncic on the same team at the same time, and both kind of let them walk, let them go elsewhere. And Jalen Brunson took a huge pay cut to stay with the Knicks, was like a $100 million pay cut, so they could get a Mikal Bridges and trade for OG and trade for Cat. But yeah, the Mavs, man, what were they thinking?
Yeah, Mikal Bridges is another player that has had that similar experience and finally pushed through the resistance there. But I didn't even think about that. That's a great way to put that. And the fact that nobody who was a part of that is around anymore for the Mavs, like, you got to go. We're going to wipe this. We're going to start with Cooper Flagg, and we're going to wipe this thing clean.
They do have Cooper Flagg. That's kind of one of those, a bunch of bad stuff happens to you and somebody goes, all right, here's $15 million to get back on your feet.
It's a consolation prize.
Yeah, it is. But that's one of the reasons I liked the Knicks. I don't know how well the Knicks matched up with OKC, if OKC would have been healthy. But one reason this series, the Spurs are younger. Those guys on the Knicks, those are some full-grown men on that Knicks team. You look at Bridges, you look at Hart, you look at OG Anunoby, Cat. Those are some grown-ups out there. And it was just they're very, as much as we love Jalen Brunson, he's a little more undersized going to the hoop. That is a very imposing team and roster the Knicks put together.
Karl-Anthony Towns in the playoffs, plus 239.
My God. They traded him.
That's crazy.
But they got Julius Randle.
They got booted. Yeah. So it's no fun when the Rapids got the gun, for sure. All right, coming up, is the judge here yet?
Judge is in Ireland, I believe.
The judge is in Ireland. Okay. All right. Well, luckily I did a little bit of show prep, and we've got an opportunity to talk about today in sports history when we come back on the other side.
Parents, looking for a fun way to get your kid active this summer?
Are you kidding me?
Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan's third annual Be a Mentor, Be a Fan Youth Football Camp is back. Brought to you by Walmart. Saturday, June 27th at Denver South High School's All-City Stadium. Your child, ages 8 to 14, will learn the fundamentals of football in a safe, hands-on environment from people who played the game at the highest level. We're talking former Denver Broncos Mark Schlereth, Philip Lindsay, and Brandon Stokely, along with a trusted coaching staff from Denver South. And every dollar raised goes to Big Brothers Big Sisters of Colorado. So your family is giving back just by showing up. Sign up today at denversports.com/camp. That's denversports.com/camp.
The playoffs bring out the teams that are built to last through pressure, intensity, and long nights on the ice. When you're bidding an electrical project, you don't want a regular season performer. You want a team with a 40-year winning record. That's Piper Electric. From commercial construction to EV charging, fire alarms, power distribution, and preventative maintenance, their electricians are safety-driven, highly skilled, and ready for complex environments. So when your project goes out for bids, choose the team built for the playoffs. Visit piperelectric.com.
You know what you can trust? The protection you get when you bundle home and auto insurance with Progressive. You know what you can't trust? Everything else, apparently. Like when you saw that article that said that thing you eat every day is a superfood and great for your gut health. But then 30 seconds later, a different article warns you to avoid it and it's taking years off your life. Well, which is it? Kind of a big difference there. Anyway, bundle home and auto insurance with Progressive for reliable coverage in a reliably unreliable world. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu.
$7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
The hot weather is here. Stoke here from my team. ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Has another company told you that you need a new air conditioner? Time to throw in the challenge flag. Rocks Heating and Air offers no obligation, free second opinion. There are amazing financing options and incredible rebates too, only from the best. ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX Rocks Heating and Air.
On top of home and auto, Progressive protects your boat, RV, and motorcycle so you can explore the unknown.
Actually, we just take the RV to the same campground every year.
Well, maybe you can catch your own dinner on your boat.
Oh, we can actually get pizza delivered there from this brick oven place we love.
Will you at least try a new topping?
Honestly, probably not. We kind of have a go-to order.
Fine. Just bundle home or auto insurance with your outdoor vehicles with Progressive and stay protected when you go, I guess, where you've gone before. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
What if you had the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi and the price didn't change for 5 years thanks to Xfinity's summer savings event? You don't have to worry about that part of your future. Now through June 15th, get gig Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 years with equipment and unlimited data included. No strings, no commitments, and get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. You're guaranteed 5 years of Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected online from threats. Plus, you can even try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions applies, requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account, taxes and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required, speeds vary, use of fiber, coaxial cable.
Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents Kyle Reese and Marcello Romano.
I totally forgot that Dan was out of town. Ireland, huh? All right. Is he over there like, what the hell is he doing tonight?
There was a DeLorean thing.
Oh, that's right.
There was and I don't know if that's the sole purpose he went. It definitely played a role.
For sure. For sure. He's in the DeLorean Club.
The DeLorean. He talks about that like we all wish we could get in.
DeLorean Society.
I was at my DeLorean Club. Cool.
Yeah.
It's exclusive, man.
Yeah, it's exclusive.
Yeah, because they made like 6 of them.
Yeah, him and Marty McFly.
Yeah, and 3 of them work.
Now that he's way out of town. Keep in mind, we wait till he is a judge. We wait till that judge gets out of the country, and then we
start talking trash.
Yeah, then we get tough.
I tried to sit my son down and watch Back to the Future. He wasn't into it.
What? Oh, okay, hold on. Shame on me. Never react like that to movies.
No, it's fine.
You like what you like.
Yeah.
I love Back to the Future.
Yeah, I remember it. I didn't realize it was 85, so that just says how young we were when it actually came out.
I was 1.
And
I love it, though.
My son was like, yeah, like the speaker thing was cool. But outside of that,
dang.
he wasn't into it too
The
much.
third one in the Wild West, that was a little rough. But
the third one usually is.
Yeah.
You went to the well one too many times. Did you see Beverly Hills Cop 3? Yeah, forgettable. Real forgettable.
Yeah.
All right. I'm glad we had a chance to talk about this because this is great on the heels of the NBA championship. And today is June 14th, and this is the anniversary of Michael Jordan's last shot. I don't say last shot because he played for the Wizards.
Okay, so Bulls.
But the Bulls. And this is 1998, where he hit the shot over Byron Russell in Game 6, and that's to win an NBA championship. And that was the second time they had won 3 in a row. And I think we all remember that. I think there was a little bit of debate as to whether or not that was a push-off. In today's NBA, certainly not. but that was certainly an iconic moment for Michael Jordan and obviously nostalgic for us.
Yeah, so I hate the Jazz. I always did. I did not like Karl Malone at all. Did not like John Stockton. Was a big Bulls guy. I don't know if they still get WGN, but Kyle, when we were growing up, we got WGN on cable, which was the Chicago station. So we had all the Bulls games out here. So I watched every Nuggets game. I watched every Bulls game. I was a huge Michael Jordan fan. The Bulls, that's the only non-Colorado sports team I actively cheered for, like they were my team. And I got to go get it. I have a framed picture of Jordan hitting that shot because it was so iconic. And you could see all the Jazz fans in the background dejected.
Yeah, but that's basketball, though. Like, I'm not sure if you were a Bulls fan or you were a Jordan fan.
It was a Jordan because I'm not a Bulls fan now.
Right.
Like, I don't care. It was because of Mike. I liked Dennis Rodman a lot when he went there, but Horace Grant Paxson the first run. My favorite season outside of the Nuggets winning ever was 93. Shaq's a rookie. 92, 93. Shaq's a rookie. Larry Johnson, Mutombo are the young guys. Barkley goes to the Suns, wins MVP. There's all of this attention, and what happens in the end? The Suns go to the finals. Michael goes up 2-0. Everybody, there was so much other things to talk about. People kind of weren't talking about Mike as much, and at the end, he reigned supreme like he always did.
I got caught up this week watching the 30 for 30 with Shaq and Anthony Hardaway.
That's a great one. I've watched that.
Yeah.
Dude, Penny Hardaway with the ball in his hands?
Yeah. That's definitely a what could have been story. Yeah. What about you, Alex? Are you a fan of we're talking NBA here, player or team?
Nuggets and players. I mean, like Jordan.
Yeah. Okay. Nuggets aside, are there players in the league now that you're a fan of?
Probably not as much as when I was a kid. And you see the Michael Jordans, the Kobe Bryants, not as much. But yeah, a guy like Jordan, I would watch his highlights just on loop, and I'd become a Jordan fan, but not a Bulls fan, kind of like John.
I think that's what's interesting about the finals from this year is that you've got some teams that have some likable personalities. Like, I don't dislike Jalen Brunson at all.
No, not at all.
I mean, OG Anunoby is really growing on me, even though you don't hear him talk very much. But obviously the heroics in, what was that, Game 4? Like, that's going to go down in NBA lore.
Sports. That's where were you?
For sure.
That was what were you doing when this happened?
For sure. And then obviously Wemby, he's got some stuff to his game, but I can see a lot of people becoming a fan of Wemby, and then they've got some young talent. I love Stephon Castle. I think he's really fun to watch, super athletic, and figure out once he didn't score his first points until that putback dunk last night.
Yeah, that surprised me. I didn't even realize that until they said it on the air. No, that you got, people are going to watch Wemby. Wemby's an attraction. You're going to always tune in to watch Wemby. Dylan Harper, son of Ron Harper, speaking of the Bulls.
Yeah.
That's going to be really likable. Basketball is the one sport growing up that I was fans of players on not my team, like a lot. And it really wasn't like that in any other sport.
Well, because when we were growing up, it was tough. It was tough around here.
Yeah.
It really was. But I remember, like, Kevin Johnson. I was a huge fan of him.
Kevin Johnson,
Sean Kemp.
The
obviously
Rain Man.
Grandmama and Larry Johnson.
Grandmama.
Yeah, and honestly, because the UNLV thing was real in the early 90s, they had like a little bit of a cultural impact that came along with that. So, yeah, I don't think it's a crime to be fans of other players on NBA teams. And that's just the nature of basketball.
Yeah, they're just the way they promote their stars. I think it matters, too. When a basketball player is dominant and great, it's very easily visible. For one, you get to see the guy. You get to see his face and everything and kind of what they do. But I was I think of him as just this big guy. That guy was so skilled. He was so skilled.
Run the floor, athletic. This is before he put on the weight.
Yeah. I don't know if he's not the best basketball player of all time. He's up there. He might be the most unstoppable player I ever watched.
Yeah, for a guy to bring down the rim.
Do you remember that when he was a rookie and
cool.
hit him in the head?
Oh man! This we're dealing with something else, and I don't know what something else is, but it's definitely different than what we've seen before. Hey, Alex, this is a pretty cool one for you because I know you're our resident baseball fan. This is in 2003. Ichiro, 1,000th hit in fewer than 700 games.
Wow, he had his 3,000th here at Coors Field. I wonder how many he would have had total if he wouldn't have came over until he was 27. If he came over, I don't know. A lot of people combine his hits in Japan with his hits in MLB. I think that's unfair. But I would have liked to see Ichiro from when he was 21, 22 through his whole career, and how many hits if he would have passed Pete Rose as far as all-time hits.
Hey, I don't know if you agree with me on this, but I threw it out last week. Like, baseball for me, super casual. It's on in the background. It's difficult for me to follow because it feels like there's always a new boo. There's always like it's Ichiro, then it's Skeens, and then it's Acuna, and then it's always somebody different, which makes it a little bit different. Like, we've been talking about KD for 20 years.
Right.
We've been talking about Steph for 15. We've been talking about LeBron for 25.
We brought up Mizorowski last week, and you didn't know who he was.
I was like, who's the new guy?
Yeah.
There is always a new guy. It felt like, Trout and Harper for years were kind of the guys, but no, there is. There's always. Here's what I like about baseball. I'm not like the big baseball guy. I watch the Rockies as much as I can. Baseball culture is fascinating to me when you talk to baseball fans and that are diehard about baseball. And it's the one sport where the people that follow the team are also a fan of the sport in general. So they'll cheer for the no-hitter on a team that they don't follow. And they'll wear the hats of the teams that they're not. It's this, I have my team, but I also want the sport to succeed.
Right.
Me, Patrick Mahomes, I don't ever want to see him win again. Football, basketball, I'm like, I don't like any of this. So baseball culture is fascinating to me, and the way that the fans are the fans of the team, but the sport overall.
That's so true. I mean, a guy's on a 43-game hit streak. You're rooting for him to get that 44th.
Yeah.
You're just rooting for history, I think.
Yeah, that you root for history. Me, like, if Mahomes is on some streak, I'm like, end.
Yes.
But baseball, the way they approach.
Maybe I've learned a lot about boxing culture over the last 5 years, and it's very cult-like in that way too.
Yeah.
Everybody, I used to fight. I fought him back in the day, and we came up in amateurs together, and it's just very tightly knit in that way. They don't pay attention to stats. Like what stats are you paying attention to?
Baseball stats.
Boxing, but that's the lifeblood of baseball.
Mm. Boxing culture is fascinating when you get into it. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Baseball. So they all have hockey's different. They all have everything kind of around each sport.
Got something different about it.
Yeah.
Something special about it.
Different.
I as much as I've watched it over the last 5 years, I look at it like I don't know anybody that goes and gets into a fight on purpose 2 or 3 times a week.
I know.
But that's what sparring is.
Yeah.
Literally.
Against somebody that is actively learning to fight.
Can't tell you the last time I had blood in my mouth because somebody punched me.
This
happens once or twice a week to everybody that boxes.
That's insane.
Don't sign me up for that.
No. One last thing, too. The Mariners, you had King Griffey Jr., you had Ichiro. Feel bad for those fans. They didn't get a World Series. I mean,
A-Rod.
A-Rod. What am I leaving out? A-Rod. Do you remember King Griffey Jr. growing up? What a big deal that was.
Do I?
Oh, my God.
But this is the Nike era.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was King Griffey, it was Michael Jordan, and then shortly thereafter, Tiger Woods had his impact on that. So you talk about guys that this is not just baseball that King Griffey impacted, or Michael Jordan, or Tiger Woods. It wasn't just their sport; it's culture as a whole. Like, guys wear Jordans to the club. Still. I'm ashamed to say this. I bought a pair of Jordans 2 weeks ago.
What'd you get?
Jordan 12, the Bloodline.
Okay.
Yeah. This is a $220 shoe. What the hell are we doing? All right. That's enough for today. Alex, thanks for doing what you do as always. You do a tremendous job. Thank you for letting me in this morning as well. John, it was great to see you.
Great to see you.
What's coming up next?
ESPN Radio, probably more Knicks talk.
Radio coming up next. Cello, I think, is back in next week, and we'll holler at you then.
Broncos country, Sean Payton is locked in. The head coach and the Broncos have agreed to a new 5-year deal through 2030, keeping him paired with GM George Payton for the long haul.